out on track. So still two of our competitors out, both of them hometown Sandringham runners. Fantastic to see the representation here this evening from the Sandringham Athletic Club. Exciting finish in our first race. As Mike Bryant, 13:23 is his seed time, and Mike's going to be well ahead of that. And we'll just ask Mike to step out also into lane 3 to finish off. So wonderful running here, Mike Bryant from Sandringham. Let's get him under the 13-minute mark, and I think he's going to do this quite easily. So big run here from Mike. Well done. Very determined finish, and we're going to get him under the 13 minutes. He'll be happy with that. Came in with a seed time of 13:23, so he's happy. The little bit of a fist pump there. There's Neil McRobinson, I think the oldest man, no, not quite the oldest man in the field, but 15-minute seed time, and Neil's quite comfortably under that. He'll be around under the 13:30 mark. So great running to round out our first event here, the K race over 3,000 with 16 finishes. Can we just ask that all competitors make their way to the start line, don't go through the finish line? There's plenty of other options to get there, but going through the finish line is not one of them. Starters, our men's J 3,000 metres. Once again, we'll announce the field once the race is underway. So under starters orders now, the men's J 3,000 metres, event 2. Behind Alan there and Paul, just against the wall there. So we're underway now. Event number 2, the J race for men over 3,000 metres. 19 starters. Sebastian Tramontana in 1 from South Melbourne. We also have Rory McDonald in 2. Braden Scott in station 3. Daniel Gutman in 4. From Williamstown, we have Josh Slade in station 5. Josh Maloney from Athletics Southwest is in 6. Daniel Spiteri Waverley in 7. Riley Nicholas from Wellington is in 8. From Old Scotch, we have Mark Ballantyne in 9. Angus Hoskin from Glen Huntley in 10. Marcus Solly is in 11. Finn Power from Box Hill is in station 12. Damien Gauchi is 17. Alexander Rajan from Old Scotch in 18. And James Mavity from Ballarat YCW station 19. So I think that might be Alexander Johnson leading the way. Alexander Rajan sitting there in second position at the moment. A little bit of a break there to the Glen Huntley runner, and that's Angus Hosking. Then we have Tramontana from South Melbourne. So pretty well spread already, so a very good opening lap. Johnson certainly putting the foot down early. Rajan just going with him at the moment. And it's quite well bunched. Also see the Box Hill runner just going a little bit wide there. I think that might be Power. So Finn Power just sitting alongside Tramontana. Then we've got Arch Morrison sitting nicely in there. Braden Scott wearing the Richmond Harriers kit. Josh Maloney, Southwest coming through there. Damien Gauchi sitting at the rear of the field. But no change out front. Finn Power doing a good move there to latch on to the leading 2 in Johnson and also Rajan. Seeing a bit of a move there from the Wellington athlete. I think that's Riley Nicholas. So that's a good move. He's now trying to join the party out front because they are moving beautifully through that. Sitting on about 10-minute pace at the moment, which would be none of the runners in this event have broken the 10-minute mark. And they're right on 10-minute schedule. The pace as they come towards the first kilometre. So 3:20 is 10-minute pace as they go through to get 5 laps to go. So I think they'll be just under that mark as they come through. Johnson just having a little bit of a look at the watch as he goes through, but I can tell you now that you're on a good pace there, and they're right on that 10-minute pace. There's 4 of them going through. Tramontana in next position. Good move there from McDonald. He's settling now into that 7th position. You've got Hosking just behind him, then Ballantyne in next slot, the young runner from Scotch. But group of 4 still out front. Alexander Rajan looking good in that second position. You can see that long stride of his, and he's just being, or urging his body on just to move into the lead. So Rajan made a bit of a move there, but Johnson's still leading the way. So it looks like he likes to lead here. Alexander Johnson from Sandringham. He's got a 10:45 seed time, and as we know, they are well and truly ahead of that schedule. Tramontana's running a good run there from South Melbourne. Finn Power just with him. Oh, sorry, Finn sitting in that 3rd position. Sorry, that's Arch Morrison. Then McDonald, Ballantyne, Braden Scott. Next one through there, James Mavity from Ballarat YCW. Josh Maloney now coming through. Neil Leaf from Malvern. And also Daniel Spiteri. So they're both teammates during the summer season with the Malvern Waverley Combine. And they're running as teammates at the moment. No real change out front. It looks like the top two just doing what they've been doing the whole way through. So it is Alexander Rajan just sitting on the heels of Alexander Johnson. As they come down, and they'll be getting 3 laps to go. A little bit of a gap now between Rajan and also Power. Riley, Nicholas just sitting in 4th position still. I think it's Braden Scott in next position. He's one of our top seeds. So Scott, one of the more experienced runners in the group, and we're just seeing him chip away at that lead out front, which Alexander Johnson's had for the whole journey. Alexander Rajan content to sit there, but I think Scott's going to start to make his move. Marcos Soli also looking good. So 3 laps to go. Quite well bunched here. Virtually the whole field in the one straight. So there won't be any lapping in this event as they approach the end of kilometre number 2. So just dropping slightly from that 10-minute pace at the moment, but I think we're going to see a bit of a kick down as we go through. We're getting 2 laps to go. No change out front. Alexander Johnson has led all the way from Sandringham. He has been challenged on a few occasions by Alexander Rajan, but that has come to nothing as Johnson controls the pace out front. Now we're seeing Marcus Soli, called him for the first time in the last lap. Then we've got McDonald in next position. Braden Scott now sitting there going through with 2 laps to go. Then we have Daniel Gutman. Atlas just behind him. Slade with them. Then Maloney from Southwest. But out front, we're seeing Soli making the big moves here. He was sitting midfield for much of this journey, and I think he's going to make it 3 runners out front. Will Soli decide to sit after doing the big surge, or is he going to go straight past them? We'll find out within a few seconds here. And I think that all of the effort is taken. He doesn't have the momentum as looks like Rajan's made the move on that point a couple of laps ago. But once again, Johnson won't let him pass as they hit the bend. So it is Rajan just sitting back into 2nd position. Soli deciding to sit into 3rd spot there. They'll be coming through to get 500 metres to go. So the wind's still blowing a bit of a southwesterly at the moment. Headwind into the home straight. This is going to be a very interesting battle like the first race. We're going to see a real kick down here. Ballantyne has made a good move. Also Mavity from YCW. McDonald's just behind them. So Johnson's done all the leading. Soli's got a very determined look on his face. He did the big surge to catch up. Has he got another surge over the final 400 metres? And I think we're going to see him lift around the bend. Rajan sitting in 2nd position still. Mavity now in 4th. Good run from him. So too Ballantyne. Gap then to McDonald. But now we're seeing the kick down. Soli. Big run from him here. He's now into 2nd position. Johnson, though, not to be outdone. Surges once again. What an entertaining race this one is. The men's J 3,000 metres. They will be challenging that sub 10 minutes. It's going to be close, though. They've got a bit of work to do over the final 200. Rajan seems to be done now, but Johnson lifts again. Every time I think he's done and going to get chased down, he just surges once again, but Soli's not done with yet. They're going to hit a bit of a headwind into this home straight, so this will be a strength run into the final stages here, but I think Johnson's done enough to take this one. The Sandy crowd will be getting pretty excited. This is 2 wins from 2 races for the Sandringham crew. Soli, though, has made a beautiful run. Mavity, look at him storming home as well. But Johnson, just the wrong side of 10 minutes, but a great race there. Alexander Johnson takes it. Very impressive from Solly as well. Mavity timed that for perfection. So just on the 10:10 mark, Rajan, what a great run from Alexander. He put it out there. McDonald will be through next, then Ballantyne. Tramontana will be next one through. Looks like Scott. Then the young Box Hill runner in power. Gutman also through with the the Xavier runner also on his shoulder. Josh Slade from Williamstown also across the line around the 10:30 mark. Then we'll see Spiteri coming through for Waverley, 10:44 thereabouts. Angus Hosking, 10:38's his seed time. Won't be too far off it, but he'll be under that 11-minute mark. And so too will be Neil Leaf from Malvern. And rounding out the field will be Damien Gauci. And he'll be stopping the clock just over 11 minutes. So another entertaining race there. And good run. Alexander Johnson, gun to tape, takes the victory in the J 3,000 metres. So next up, the I race for men, event number 3 of 15. 18 starters, and once again, we will introduce them once the event is underway. So underway now, the I race for men, 3,000 metres, in Station 1, Eli Green. Station 2 from Casey Gardenia, it's Connor Ricky. Jacob Guhan from Knox in 3. Next to him, also from Knox, Flynn Crutchley. In 6, we have from Glen Huntley, Oliver Mackay. Ryan Losties in 7. Francesco Ciancio, Melbourne University in 9. Manolo Segato, Melbourne Uni in 10. Raphael Merchant is in 11. Alongside him, Sid Critchley in 12. Sydney Box from Wellington is in Station 13. Felix Burrell from Box Hill in 14. From Mentone, Corey Lawson in 15. From Williamstown, Anthony Hine in 16. Lachlan Hurren in 17. Harry Lynn from Williamstown in 18. And the Glen Huntley duo of Christian Burke and Andrew McAvoy in 19 and 20 respectively. And it is the young man from Wellington, Sydney Box, leading the way at the moment. Looks like a Box Hill uniform not far behind him, and that will be Felix Burrell. A little bit of a gap then. And we have the first of our Williamstown runners. And that will be Anthony Hine. Yeah, just a reminder to the crowd too that you're allowed onto the track. So we have set up the barrier there with the safety tape. So if anyone wants to come onto the track and get that little bit up close and personal with the competitors, particularly as they hit those final few laps. As we've seen the first 2 races, those final few laps have been absolutely sensational to watch. But Sydney Box from Wellington, 10:10's his best time. And we saw those times being run in the previous event, so I wouldn't be surprised if these guys are well and truly under that mark. So they come through on the 600 metre mark here. So Jacob Guhan, he's the man in the Knox uniform sitting in 5th position. Sagado not too far behind him, and that's our lead pack. One of our Glen Huntley runners then just trying to get back in contact with that lead group of 6. 2 of our Williamstown boys are in there. That's Anthony Hine and also Harry Lynn. So Hine's a 9.57 and Lynn's a 9.58 runner. They're 2 of our top seeds alongside Chianchio, who's now sitting probably mid-pack in the chasers. But beautiful form there from Sydney Box from Wellington. He's looking very comfortable out front. Burrell, not looking too bad either. But we're seeing Hine just making a little bit of a move. Bit of a choice there for Harry Lynn, whether to follow his teammate or not. But he's sitting comfortably in that 4th position. Burrell's moving nicely. Guhan in next position. A little bit of a gap there. And he's got Sagado with him. So we're coming down to approach the 1 kilometre mark. So 3 minutes ticking away now. That's the 9-minute mark. So we'll do a quick calculation as Box comes through. It's going to be on about 9.30 pace. Right on 9.30 pace as they go through our lead bunch. And it is Christian Burke from Glen Huntley who's in that 7th position there as the chaser. Leading the next pack is Sid Critchley. But that beautiful form from Box hasn't changed at all. But Hine seems to have a bit of momentum, and his teammate Lynn is just in the shadows there and loving the pace that they're setting out front. They are on 9.30 pace. Massive PBs for these young men. Sagado sitting there in 5th position. He's the senior citizen of the group, but running it pretty smart in the same breath as well, because he is moving along nicely, Manolo Sagado. But it is a change of lead. Probably not a bad thing for Box, because he's got Hine just moving beautifully out front. The pace is still maintaining nicely. And now Box can just take a little bit of a breather and just sit in the footsteps there of Anthony Hine. Hine, Box, Lynn. Now Sagado makes his move just ahead of Burrell. Guhan in next position. Then we have Burke, Critchley, Chianchio. Then Mackay. Next one through. Crutchley. Ryan Losty just taking the wide line there in the white top. It's sitting beautifully in that. It's a good chase pack there as it really strings out front. But no change in the lead. Top 4, top 5 still in the same positions. Chiancho, bit of an ultra runner in Francesco, and he's just proving patience pays off in these 3,000 metre events as the mid stages of his run are going very nicely. But he's got Sid Critchley going with him, and the young man probably benefiting from the good pacing there from Francesco. But out front, no real change. Burrell maybe just dropping off that lead group of 5. He's in 5th position. Top 4 bolted together with Anthony Hine doing all of the work out front at the moment after Sydney Box set the pace beautifully. So I'll be coming down to get 3 laps to go. So not far from entering that last kilometre. And we're seeing the more experienced runner there in Manolo Sagado. He's got a 10-minute seed time. So he's one of the top seeds, and he's just starting to assert himself and showing that power, that maturity from Sagado. And he's now edging his way into 2nd position behind Hine. 3 to go also for Burke now. Guhan not too far behind him. Then Critchley, Chianchio. Then we have Crutchley. Burrell's holding on beautifully here, though. So Felix Burrell, the young man from a Box Hill, he's got the 10-minute seed time as well. So he's not letting the group get away. I'm impressed by Harry Lynn as well. He's looking very smooth here. So one of the twins from Williamstown going nicely as they hit the 6:30 on the 2K mark. So that is 9:45 pace. So still big PB area for all of those, best seed times as well. But I'd say PBs for these juniors. And they'll be trying to look for spots. You know, there's spots up for grabs in the Zatopek too, and we'll be watching people later in the evening really looking to get those qualifying times for Zatopek on December 14. But Zagato sitting wide here, just starting to go forward. Hine will be challenged. But the young man's got the possession of the rails here. Lynn's still looking good. He's sitting in third. Wouldn't even blow out a candle, and he's looking really good there. Box just has to hold on. So too does Burrell as they go into the last two laps. Guhan and also Burke locked together. Then it's Critchley. Then Crutchley. Losty, Ciancio. Then we have Merchant coming through. McAvoy. Eli Green just sitting off the back of McAvoy. And out front, Harry Lynn making a bit of a move as well. So 600 out, approaching. Getting into the bitter end. Are we going to see another big finish here? Lynn, as I said, really looking smooth. So the smaller of the Williamstown runners now slipping into second position. One out, one back on Zagato. Good place to be as they come into the breeze. 500 metres out. So unfortunately no Sandringham runners out front in this one, but it's still going to be a very good race. As we see Zagato, the more experienced of the runners, running fairly wide. That's it, Liz. Get the crowd going out there because you've got two very good young men racing this beautifully. Probably the best race I've ever seen from Harry Lynn. He's coming through 8:30 at the bell. They're going to kick it down here. I think we'll be looking possibly around a 9:40 finish time. Hines not out of it yet. Burrell in next position, then Box is probably paying for some of that early pace. Now we watch Hine make his move. Can Zagato or Lynn challenge this? But Hine looking strong as he goes into the back straight last time. Lynn, if anything, might have the momentum here, but Zagato's strong on the inside. So coming through to get one lap to go is Lachlan Hurren. Next one through there will be Oliver Mackay from Glen Huntley. But out front, no real change, race in three. Connor Rickey from Casey Cadinia, Corey Lawson, rear of the field here, but up the front of the field. This is still on. Three fantastic races to start the Milers Club season this year, and Harry Lynn is the next one to make the move, the smaller of the competitors out front. As I said, I've seen Harry race many times, and this is the best I've seen him race. But on the inside, the benefit of that inside rail there, it looks like it might be Hine that will take this, but I'm very impressed with Lynn and also Zagato. What a race, around that 9:40 mark. Big PBs for the young men out front. Zagato very impressive in 9:46 unofficially. Burrell also, we're going to get him around that 9:50 mark, just over. Good run from him. And Box also looks sensational. He's one to watch as this season progresses. He's going to be right on that 10-minute mark. Critchley, also we got Crutchley and Guhan. Just the wrong side of 10 minutes, but some great racing here. Lots of good PBs. Eli Green's come through. Then McAvoy. That's a good run from McAvoy under his seed time. Ciancio in next position. Lachlan Hurren coming through for 10:21 thereabouts. But three races, three magnificent finishes. Hine taking the last race there. As we see young Ricky coming over the top of Oliver Mackay in the final stages. And Corey Lawson, final competitor here in the third race, the I race for men over 3,000 metres. race. And looks like we have 20 starters. Once again, we'll announce the field once they are underway. The women's D 3,000 metres. So a split start for the first time tonight. 20 starters in our D race for women, and they are Claudia Tierney from St Kevin's in 1, Sarah Skinner from Glen Huntly in 2, Cassia Santos is in Station Free, Ava Bizzotto Sandringham in 4, Lola Becker Glen Huntly in 5, Marianne McSweeney Deacon in 6, from Yarra Rangers Lily Clark in 7, her teammate Brianna Coffey is in 8. Miller Malherb from Sandringham in 9, Indy O'Donoghue's in 10, Summer Elberson Mentone in Station 11. Station 12, we have Millicent Fraser from Box Hill. Melbourne Uni's Eliza Vervoort in 13. Olivia Beaton from Ballarat YCW in 14. In 16, we have Glen Huntly's Layla Bruce. Anna Malquini from South Bendigo in 17. Grace Halifax is in 18. Katrina Pryor, YCW in 19. Jemima Lord, Glen Huntly in 20. And in 23 from Glen Huntly, Stella Haig. So Zara Skinner leading the way at the moment. Pace fairly decent as they settle this down in a nice long line across the track. So our top seeds are around the 11-minute mark for this event. So that's about 3:40 pace per kilometre. Skinner leading. She's one of those 11-minute seed times. Lots of guesstimations early season. A lot of runners not coming in with any previous track racing this season, apart from those in the school system. So Skinner leads. That might be Clark in next position. Sorry, Brianna Coffey in next position. To the outside there, you've got the likes of Layla Bruce, but it's really well packed. Summer Elberson in that pack as well. Also Beaton. So Tierney and also Malquini pacing their race at the rear of the field at the moment. So Brianna Coffey sitting in that second position. Looking quite comfortable, allowing Zara Skinner to do the leading. And we'll get a very good idea of how they're pacing. I think pacing may be just coming off the boil a little bit as we see the bunched pack. I reckon there are 19 of them in that lead pack still as they go through the 800 metre mark, just under 3 minutes. So now we're just seeing a little bit of a change out front. As I said, I think they're probably just slowing a little bit too much for the likes of some of that mid-pack, and they want to start to get that pace moving once again. Coffey's on the rails at the moment. I'll try and get ID the runner to the outside as they come through, and they hit that 1 kilometre mark. A reminder that 3:40 is 11-minute pace, so anything under that, and they're on sub 11-minute schedule. Gee, they're bunched. It's like a Melbourne Cup field as they come through at the moment. So it is a Box Hill runner out to the outside there. And that's Millicent Fraser, so quite an accomplished runner. We've also got the likes of Jemima Lord sitting in that pack. So they're just off the 11-minute schedule, but so many of them are still in the racing here that I believe that as they go into kilometre 2 and 3, that pace might lift even more. So a few of them really want to push that pace. Coffey being one of them, the Yarra Rangers young lady. To the outside of her is Millicent Fraser from Box Hill. Then it is just a sea of baby blue, the Glen Huntly girls. All running quite strategically. It could be a pile of Jeff Risley's runners, I'd say. So these girls will know each other quite well. They would train together. And I think we're seeing quite a good strategy here from the girls from Glen Huntly as they just sit in that mid-pack of the leading pack here with Fraser and also Coffee leading the way. So a reminder, once again, the crowd can come out onto the track on the home straight and go up to the barriers if you want. If you want to get that little bit closer and cheer on your friends, your family, your teammates. As Milson Fraser still doing the work out front. But now it's Jemima Lord starting to surge away forward. Also Lola Becker in the mix. On the rails at the moment there, you've got Olivia Beaton. Vervoort from Melbourne University also in the picture. And Katrina Pryor from Ballarat YCW also in that lead bunch. It's probably down to about 15 now in the lead pack. Now the move's coming once again, and it's a few of the Glen Huntley girls are getting a little bit impatient. But I think it might be Brianna Coffey who then did a little bit of a surge. I think that might have been Lola Becker that made a... No, Becker's sitting mid-pack there. We'll try and identify the Glen Huntley runner as they come back around again. But now moves are really coming thick and fast here. And as expected, that early slower pace has allowed them to make some good strategic moves through the mid-stages here of this 3,000 metres. They'll be coming down to get 3 laps to go. So a little bit of a surge out front here. That's really thrown a cat amongst the pigeons as they come in to the home straight to get 3 to go. So Kazia Santu is the one who's made the move. Coffee still in next position. And then Miller Malherbe from Sandringham. They hadn't called her whatsoever. Now she's sitting in that 3rd position. Olivia Beaton on the chase there from YCW. She goes past her home crowd there at the bottom bend. And Beaton now starting to move beautifully. But it's a big lead at the moment for Kazia Santu. Comes in with the 11-minute time, and she'll be under that with that beautiful surge she's made. She's now out by a good 20 to 25 metres. Good run there from Malherbe, though, just to get onto the back of Coffee. And now we're seeing Beaton, very brave, launching forward from that chase pack. Coffee just has a quick look at the watch to see what the pacing's like, and I think the pacing is pretty good at the moment. Santu's seed time 11:00, so a guesstimate. Once again, I haven't seen this young lady in racing before, but that was a very impressive move where she started to put them to the sword, and we're into the final kilometre now. So approaching 2 laps to go, 800 out. Kazia Santu leading the way. Brianna Coffey 2nd, Malherbe in 3rd position, then Beaton. Lord next. Then Fraser. Vervoort just to the outside there of Bruce. Also up there is Becker. Then we have Skinner. Stella Haig also in a good position. Albertson right there with her. So Indy O'Donoghue. Also Grace Halifax coming through. Tierney now starting to make her moves, just going ahead of Clark and also Bizzotto. But no change out front. The chasers are really starting to split apart, and this is where we're seeing the strength as we're into that, approaching that final 600 metres. But Kazia Santu looks like she might have this one, but Beaton's one to watch here. Just made a nice move there, getting ahead of Malherbe. She's got Coffee just in front of her, who's run strongly the whole journey so far here. So Brianna Coffey sitting in 2nd position, but Olivia Beaton starting to make some moves as they come through 500 metres to go. So the wind just dropping a little bit here at Sandringham. Just that's the prediction. It's just going to ease off as the evening comes through. It is Kazia Santu She's got a break of about 15 metres. Beaton moves into second position. The crowd getting behind these runners. Coffee running brave. Malherb next. Then we have Lord, Becker, also Fraser for Forts. Next one through is Bruce, then Albiston, Skinner. To the outside there is McSweeney. Pryor, the next of the YCW runners. And now we have seen a change out front. This has been quite a run here from Olivia Beaton. This will have the bottom corner really going, but what a run from the Ballarat YCW runner. It was very brave there as Santu, but we're seeing Coffee also doing a bit of a lift over this final stage of the 3,000 metres. Clark coming through to get one to go. Also Bizzotto. Malquini next one to come through to hear the sound of the bell. But look at this. This is very impressive. We spotted her through that probably a couple of laps ago. You could just see a very good move from Olivia Beaton. And boy, she has wound this up. So she's gone from about 10 to 15 metres down to about 20 metres up into this final 100 metres. A very impressive run here. Olivia Beaton, 11:30 is her seed time. She's going to be under the 11-minute mark. So congratulations, Olivia. What a run from the young lady from Ballarat YCW. She's got the crowd going. She's going to break 11 minutes. It's going to be close here too for Santu and also Coffee. I think Santu will just get over the top and she'll get under the 11 minutes. Another two of them. Fantastic running here. Becker will be through next. Fraser. Then we have Lord, also Vervort. Good run here also from Miller Malherb. Made a great move in the midfield. It's just weakened slightly, but very impressive. As we see also Skinner come across the line. Katrina Pryor also through. And Stella Haig. There's a couple of our unattached runners coming in now. They're from the Melbourne Girls program under Jeff Risley. And that will be Grace Halifax and also Indy O'Donoghue. Claudia Tierney finishing off. She'll be well under that 12-minute mark. Lily Clark, next one across the line. Also Ava Bizzotto from Sandringham. Good run from Ava. She'll be under the 12 minutes. So it's well under Ava's personal best. And big finish here. Anna Malquini from South Bendigo. 12:15 is the seed time. We're going to get Anna under that here this afternoon. So big run there from Anna. And she'll be stopping the clock at around 12:13. So another entertaining race. Good win there. Very impressive from Olivia Beaton from Ballarat YCW, taking out the first of our women's event here, the D 3,000 metres. This is the first of our Dash for Cashes for the evening. So we'll have a men's and a women's Dash for Cash. The winner will take home $100. So just getting our split start organised. The men's H 3,000 metres. 22 starters. We'll introduce them once again when they are underway. So underway now, the men's 3,000 metres. And it is the dash for cash. So split start as they come across. So we've got Ben Rouse from Essendon in 1, Tyler Hughes Mornington in 2. We have Sam Greenberg in 3, Brad Johnson in 4, Asher Grodsky Maccabi in 5. Joey Butland is in 6. From Old Scotch, Kayla McInnes in 7. Otto Day is in 8. Linus Hunter is in 9. Also from Sandringham, Ned Skinner, his teammate, is in 10. Archie Thomas Chilwell in 11. Liam Ricky from Casey Gardenia is in 13. Owen Roach, Mentone, 14. Kynan Dawes from Box Hill in 15. Toby Gom from Mornington is in 17. Cody Levitas, Keelis and Berners in 18. Andrew Crawford from Wellington in 19. Charlie Roney from Knox in 20. From Glen Huntley, Angus Emmons in 21. William Hughes Mornington in 22. Oscar Layfield from Sandringham in 23. They are your starters in the 8th race over 3,000 metres. Looks like we might have a pacer out there because that's Ned Skinner leading the way for Sandringham. Unless our pacer is a racer, we'll just check that as he comes around. But he's really put the foot down. And looks like he does have a hit number on, so he is racing. We'll find out who this is as he comes around. So it is a dash for cash, $100 on the line. But yet again, subject to wearing legal shoes. Okay, Oscar Layfield, Sandringham, leading the way. So he's really pushing it out. Nice move there from Liam Ricky from Casey Gardenia. Also up there at the moment, Asher Grodsky from Maccabi. Great to see Kynan Dawes racing once again. Former one of Victoria's best steeplechasers in his day. But Kynan sitting in the rear of the field, but I anticipate he'll pick up a few scalps in the latter stages of this event. But out front we do have a bolter, Oscar Layfield. 9:36 it is seed time. And we'll get a good feel for that when he comes around on the next lap as he goes through the 1 kilometre mark. So into the home straight to approach the 1 kilometre. So 900 metres in here for Oscar Layfield from Sandringham. Looks like he's going to be not far off 9-minute pace, and he's got a seed time of 9:36. Checks the watch once again, and he's under 9-minute pace. Not too far behind is Ned Skinner. He's got a 9:45 time. Ned just looking nice and relaxed there as he goes through just around 3:06. Next one through, Kayla McInnes, Old Scotch. Tyler Hughes sitting the inside there of Ricky from Casey Gardenia. A few of the Mornington boys in that chase pack, but out front on his own, Oscar Layfield. Don't know much about this one at all, but this is impressive running, sitting sub 9-minute schedule and still looking very bouncy as he goes through at 1.2 kilometres, so approaching the halfway mark. The gap to Skinner, remember this is the dash for cash as well, he's out by about 90 metres. I think this is daylight robbery. This guy has really got us on the seating, but he didn't know he was going to be in the dash for cash. This is very impressive running. Let's see if Layfield can hold on to this pace, because he is just absolutely smoking at the moment. Looked very bouncy. Let's see if he can hold that. Getting instructions from Tom Thorpe, who knows how to win a race or two. A dual Victorian 5,000 metre champ. Skinner doing his own race here. Also, Kayla McInnes looking good, but gee, they're coming at them, and it looks like Rouse is the next one to make the move, one of the more experienced runners. To the outside of him is Joey Butland. He's got a 9:36 as well. Looks like it might be Greenberg also up there. Let's see, the leader is still out by a good, I'd say that's about 70 metres now. And another gap of maybe 35 to 40 metres. But we're seeing Rouse starting to really move and taking some of the other runners with him. That includes Grodsky from Maccabi. But a lot of the younger runners are bunched in nicely at the moment, and I think that's going to hold them in good set as they go into the final kilometre here. So Layfield, gone hard, gone early. Stride pattern maybe just starting to come in a little bit as we see his teammate coming into the home straight as well, and that's Ned Skinner. So 3 laps out now. Layfield leads the way. We'll get a fix of it as he goes through the 2 kilometre mark. Remember, he was on sub 9 minute pace through 1. Now we're seeing Grodsky make a bit of a move. Rouse is with him. Greenberg in next position. Butland. Then Ricky. Tyler Hughes. Also up there, Otto Day. From Chilwell, we've got Archie Thomas. As Layfield still leading, still got a break of over 50 metres as he approaches the 2 kilometre mark. It's ticked over the 6 minute mark, so pace gone off on the 2nd kilometre. So he's entering the 3rd K now, 6:08 approximately as he goes through 2K. So that was about a 3:10, 3:11. So Skinner's still running his own race. Looks like the taller figure there from Scotch, which is Carla McInnes, might be challenged shortly. So having a look at his watch as he comes round. He'll be needing 2 laps to go. So still a sizable lead here for Oscar Layfield. The bounce has gone out of the step a little bit, but he's still got a sizable lead of over 50 metres over his teammate there in Ned Skinner. Skinner's up by about another 40 metres. Currently over the old Scotch runner in McInnes. Rouse, Grodsky, also Greenberg, running very impressively here in this 3,000 metres. Butland in next position. Then a duel or pair of the Mornington Minstrel boys in Hughes and also Gom. Angus Emmons coming through. Also Cody Levitas. Hunter, 2 laps out as we see Owen Roach come through. Not too far behind him, Brad Johnson and Kynan Dawes. So still out by 50 metres. Now Bolter, Oscar Layfield in the dash for cash. Let's see if he can hold that position. Just starting to get a little bit proppy on his feet, but it is a big lead, and I can't see him being run down over the final 450 here. Just needs to maintain a little bit of composure when he hears that bell. But Oscar Layfield really went hard, went strong early, but he can hear that lovely sound of the bell, and he'll hold on to this lead here. Skinner is starting to draw him in, but I can't see that lead being challenged as they go into that final 400 metres. Very impressive here too from McInnes. He's holding that position, but now the challenges have come. Rouse, Greenberg, Grodsky. Now another one of the Mornington runners there, and William Hughes. He joins Tyler, and also Gom, the 3 teammates. Otto Day also now through. Approaching the bell now, Andrew Crawford from Wellington. Linus Hunter will be the next one in. But no change to the lead here. And he's just picked up a little bit of tempo as he goes into that final 200 metres. So too does Ned Skinner. So 9 minutes just ticked over now. So 9:36 is the best time submitted by Oscar Layfield. He'll be well under that. Skinner, he's got a time of 9:45, so impressive run here from Ned. And he will be challenging, but he's going to run out of space here. And it will be Oscar Layfield taking the dash for cash. And it looks like he's got the legal shoes on. So $100 coming the way of Oscar Layfield under the 9:30 mark. So too Skinner, so impressive running. Big run also there from McInnes. Impressed with that one. Greenberg will be through next in 9:35 thereabouts. And Hughes next, then Rouse, then Gom. Tyler Hughes, he's got Ricky just to the outside of him. Then Charlie Roney from Knox. Grodsky also through with Joey Butland. Nice run there from Angus Emmons. Under the 10-minute mark, as to is Levitas. Hunter. Nice run from Linus Hunter. And Kynan Dawes, oldest man in the field. He'll be next one through. 10-14 thereabouts. Brad Johnson in next position. And final runner in the field, Owen Roach from Mentone. He'll be stopping the clock just under 10:30. So that concludes our men's 8th race. The Dash for Cash, Oscar Layfield, Sandringham taking the $100. What was his story? Next up, we've got the men's G 3,000 metres. We'll have 21 starters. Once again, we'll do a split start and we'll introduce the field once they are underway. So the breeze still coming and going a little bit here at Sandringham. Just picked up again after it calmed down for a brief period. And as the sun sets, the air temperature also starting to drop. So underway now, the men's G 3,000 metres, 21 starters. Ian Jessup from Mentone in 1. Also from Mentone, Thomas Scott in 2. John Bravoulis, Old Scotch in 3. Harry McAllister, Sandringham in 4. From Yarra Rangers, Ryder Holland in 5. From Richmond Harriers, Thomas Chapman in 6. Station 8 we have from Box Hill, Jake Reed. Miles Boyle from Diamond Valley in Station 9. In 11, we have from Mentone, Lachlan Fulton, Jackfield, Ringwood in 12. Dexter Hill is in 13. Ariel Friedrich, Glenn Huntley in 14. Ryder Deeds from Western Athletics in Station 15. Jed Willis from Bendigo Uni in 16. Joshua Field, St Kevin's in 17. David Grigg, Ballarat YCW in 18. Mark Stodden, Richmond Harriers 19. Jensen Wheeler, Williamstown in 20. Monty Tucker from Mentone in 21. Perry Grant from Eureka in 22. And in 23 from South Melbourne, Jordan Trevina. So pretty good start. I think that's Fields. Ian Jessup was certainly up there early as they came past me early, but it's certainly quite a few of the Mentone boys. Now we're seeing a Sandringham charger there as well, and that could well be a McAllister. So they're starting to settle nicely here in this G 3,000 metres. We're looking at top seed times around the 9:20 mark. So a quick calculation, that's about 3:07 per kilometre. So the breeze coming across seems to have switched a little bit, coming from the other side of the track now, more of a southeasterly or probably a true southerly coming off the bay now. And our leader coming through, it is Lachlan Fulton, not surprising. Fulton up there, Thomas Scott next, then Field, and then we've got McAllister. The Glenn Huntley runner also in the picture there is Friedrich. But a fairly honest pace as they open up here in this men's G 3,000 metres, event number 6. So Trevina from South Melbourne missed that previous race, but sitting midfield in this race, which is the faster race, so good running there from Jordan Trevina. So far in this first 800 metres of the 3,000 metres. It's a 1-2 for Mentone at the moment, and that's courtesy of Lachlan Fulton leading the way. Does like to get out and set the pace, Lachlan Fulton. We've seen this before from him in these events. Doesn't mind just carving the pace out front and really setting up a good race, and this is exactly what he's doing again here this evening. And Thomas Scott, his teammate, just sitting in saying thank you very much. Joshua Field in next position there. The St Kevin's runner. Then it's McAllister. Then we have Ian Jessup. Monty Tucker, Mentone prominent early here. Also up there. And from Western Athletics, Ryder Dean's also looking good in the early stages. Probably the tightest bunch so far of all of the races. And that's what we're starting to expect as we go up the grades here at Milers Club. Maybe only about 10 to 15 seconds separating the seed times in this event. So it is starting to get quite tight. Fulton leads, no change. Scott. Field just hugging the rails beautifully at the moment. And that's Joshua Field. 9.25 is one of our top seeds. Dexter Hill, another one to watch out for. He's a 9.21 runner. And Hill's sitting in a good position at the moment. Just sitting about 7th, 8th, 9th position there. Jed Willis, Bendigo Uni, in good position. He's got young Perry Grant from Eureka just behind him. And then from Diamond Valley, it's Miles Boyle. So this is very well spread, and the pace is really honest. I missed the opening 1K, unfortunately. But now slight change of lead here. As we see Thomas Scott leading the way. Field still sitting second. McAllister from Sandringham in next position. Then I think it's Fulton in next. Oh, sorry, that might be Ian Jessup. So from one Mentone runner to the next in the lead here. Field very happy to sit in second position as they come down to get 3 laps to go. So 1,200 out. We'll be entering the final kilometre soon. Fulton now sitting back in about 6th position. Nice running there from Greg from Ballarat YCW. Also Stodden starting to move through. John Bravoulis in next position from Scotch. The wind once again just coming up a little bit from the south. So nice tailwind down that back straight, and that's where we've seen some very good moves. They get that little bit of a push, get some momentum. McAllister just to the outside of Jessup at the moment. Field still in second position behind Scott as they approach the 2 kilometre mark. So that's 6:17 at 2K. So we're on about just over 9.20 pace, but I think with the size of that pack, we're going to see a very decent kick down over the last kilometre. So Scott is still sitting in first position, but I think we might see some challenges. They'll want to get that pace. If they want to chase the sub 9.20, the pace has got to go down now. They'll be approaching 800 metres to go. So the boys really have to push it through hard here. We're seeing Grant to the outside, McAllister looking strong. Also one of the Richmond Harriers in good position, and that is Thomas Chapman. Also, Ryder Deans from Western Athletics. They're also all fall there as Field unfortunately just gets clipped. It goes down straight back up again. So great running there from Joshua Field to get himself back in, but a little bit more pushing and shoving. They were all, I think the pace went off, and that's what happens. They're all starting to get position, but we're seeing Field now starting to make his way back through. He's sitting in about 10th position, but McAllister out in front. Jessup not too far behind him. And then we have Chapman from Richmond, and he's looking good. Field now sitting in about 6th position. He's really made his move back in. Went down, got up. That's showing true fighting spirit from Joshua Field. But up front it is McAllister. I'm not sure if he wants to be there, but he's the man who's setting the pace. This is a into 4th position. McAllister leading 500 out. Just approaching the 8-minute mark now. McAllister, Field, right in contention once again. Now we're seeing the Mentone boys. Jessop's in the mix. So too is Monty Tucker. Chapman also up there. So too is Hill. And that's where Field went down on the last lap, and he's in that same position. This is amazing running from Joshua Field. But out front, it is McAllister still leading. Monty Tucker, one to watch here from Mentone, and he's making the move just as they say his name. So Tucker, he's the big mover. Field goes again, though. McAllister could be done. Chapman also in the mix. Jessop also going for it, and Deans from Western A's. But out front, this has been a surge forward. Monty Tucker, I think that's a match-winning lead there for Tucker. Really went down on the 250 to go, and Tucker really looks the goods as he goes round the top bend. Comes in with a 9:25 seed time. He's going to be very close to that. He'll be well under that as Tucker comes through. So very impressive run here. Very strategic run. Monty Tucker didn't call his name much in the early stages, but calling him when it needs to be called. And Monty Tucker, he'll take the win about the 9:14 mark. Jessop in next position, then Chapman. Good run from Deans, then McAllister. Hill in next position, then Field. What a brave run from Field, though. Went down. Grant in next position. Looks like the early leader there in Fulton. Also from Diamond Valley, Boyle is through. And from Old Scotch, John Bravoulis. So Trevina and Stodden also across with Grigg. As we look down the track. And we'll see Jensen Wheeler just got Jack Field just ahead of him, and Ariel Friedrich will finish it off just under the 10-minute mark here to complete the G race for men over 3,000 metres. So once again, split start, the second of our women's events, the C race for 3,000 metres for women. We will have 23 starters. So underway now, 23 starters. We've got Grace Young in Station 1 from Collingwood. Amy Joy Duncan, Mentone in 2. Eliza Ayres from Mentone in 3. Lottie Nelson, Box Hill in 4 from Ballarat YCW. Paige Tuddenham in 5. Lal Kovacs from Athletics Essendon in 6. Sandringham in 8, we have Sophie R. Bateman. Poppy Donaldson, South Melbourne in 9. Emma Wadley, Glenn Huntley in 10. From Box Hill, we have Monique Williams in 11. Lily Baker, Mentone in 12. Lenny Hartley, Sandringham in 13. Asha Morrow from Mornington in 14. In 15, we have from Glen Huntley, Georgie Lindsay. Emily Tawney from Wendouree in 16. Isabel Kays, Essendon in 17. Zoe Clark, Yarra Rangers 18. Mia Gu from Knox in 19. Rose Ashman, Ballarat YCW in 20. From Doncaster, we have Madeline Kearney in 22. Emily Wetzels from Sandringham in 23. In 24, from Doncaster, Sophie Field. And Maddie Boyd from Wellington in 25. So out front, we do have Asha Morrow from Mornington leading the way, but a little bit of a charge there. One of the Mentone runners. Nice pink shorts. We'll try and pick them up as they come through. Kearney sitting in 3rd position there. So already quite spread in this C race here over the 7.5 laps. 23, probably one of our biggest fields for the evening as well. As we're seeing a little bit of a charge forward there and a little bit of spin. Maybe the top 10 starting to just get away a little bit here. As everyone's just trying to get good position early stages in this 3,000 metres over the 7.5 laps. They come down and they'll be getting 6 laps to go. So Tuddenham just to the outside there. So Paige Tuddenham, regular competitor here at Milers Club, looking pretty strong as she goes through. That's Amy Joy Duncan sitting on the rails. Lottie Nelson running fairly wide there, the young girl from Box Hill. But now clear leader is Tuddenham. And for Amy Joy Duncan sitting in that 2nd position. Kearney in next. Then we have Morrow. To the outside there, you've also got the Box Hill runner there, and that is Nelson. But the race is certainly on here as they go through the 800 metre mark. Tuddenham leading the way. Right on 2:40, so they're on 10-minute pace. This is quick. So 3:20 is 10-minute mark over 3,000 metres, and that would be a massive PB for the entire field here. So can they maintain this pace? As we know, for a lot of these younger runners, they open the season with some pretty massive times. They've got a lot of improvement. They've had a good winter, and we've seen a lot of these girls during the XCR series, and it's all starting to come together for them now on track. Isabel Kays also in the picture there, alongside Sophie Field. Gu also there from Knox. Williams, probably one to watch. She's sitting nicely in that lead pack, is Monique Williams. As that breeze just comes up again here at the Sandringham track. But that's not stopping the pace out front at all. They're right on that 10-minute mark as they go through. So impressive running here for the leaders. Those sitting back in that lead pack probably benefiting from some good pace. Rose Ashman being one of those. She's probably sitting about 10th position, but they are moving nicely. And it is Duncan who's taken the lead now. Once again. Doesn't hurt to change it around. Kayser sitting in 2nd position. Tuddenham sitting 3rd. As the beats come back on here at the Sandringham Athletic Track. Thank you, Tom Thorpe. Let's get the rhythm going. Let's get the music pumping. And let's get the atmosphere out here on track. Please feel free to come out and support the runners. Trackside. They love it when they can hear you cheering for them up close. And it is Kays who's now leading the way. Great the way these girls are working it through. Nelson's run the long line a lot of the way. Kearney's with her. Now we're seeing Clark just breeze her way into that lead pack. So a little bit of a break. And we get back to the Sandringham runner there. But the lead bunch, just over 10, I think, in the lead bunch at the moment. Isabel Kays leading. This gives the opportunity now for Lottie Nelson to just tuck in a little bit. As I said, Lottie's been running very wide for a lot of the run, but now she's running in, probably going to take the lead here, I think. Lottie Tuddenham's still sitting in third position and looking good. Kays has had her chance to take the lead, but I think she might surrender it to Nelson if she decides to take it. But I think Kays is just fighting for that lead position. Looks like it's Asha Morrow back in the picture as well. Gee, this is an interesting race. They're all having their dip out the front. And Madeline Kearney's just stayed in, towed the line the whole way and been in contention. Now we're seeing Clark go fairly wide. She's got Sophie Field just just in front of her. And there's Lottie Nelson now taking the shortest possible route. But Morrow to the outside of her. Kearney battling beautifully. Goo going along nicely. Ashman, nice move there. Lenny Hartley, that was a big move from Hartley. Get herself into that lead bunch. And out front, Morrow now looking the goods once again. She was leading earlier. And it looks like she's now in a position. She's allowing Nelson to still dictate the pace, but I think she's one out, one back, and in a really good position to pounce there. Kovac's still in the picture as well and moving into third position. Oh, sorry, apologies, that's Kays from Essendon. And Tuddenham sitting in fifth position, still looking good. Amy Joy Duncan thought she might have dropped there, but she's starting to get her way back onto that lead bunch, and there's 5 out front. She's sitting in sixth position. Now Monique Williams starting to look good in that chase pack as well. Watch out for her. But it's Clark, the one who probably from that chasing group looks the best. Tuddenham maybe just starting to feel the strain. Coming through to get 2 laps to go. This is going to be a very, very interesting finish. Lottie Nelson, she's got a best of 10.55. Morrow, she's a 10.35 runner. Kearney's not set a foot wrong in this whole race. Madeline Kearney in great position. So too Kays. Now we're seeing Lenny Hartley make another move. This is really impressive from the Sandringham local. Coming through now, you got Lel Kovacs. Sophia Bateman also starting to come through. But out front, it is a bunch of 5 or 6. So Donaldson next through. Then Georgie Lindsay. Maddie Boyd in next position. Then Young. And then Wadley. But Kearney, her turn out front now. As I said, hadn't put a foot wrong, Madeline Kearney. Now she decides it's her turn to take the lead. I think there's probably about 7 or 8 runners have led this race at certain times. This has been very impressive from all the young girls deciding to take their turn out front. Some of these girls will be looking for runs in the Zatopek, potentially in the Ondieki 3,000 metres, so they need to get the times on the board here tonight. And now Duncan goes again, the pink shorts. Amy Joy Duncan. Another one to watch. Kearney's been strong. Nelson's still in the picture. Wedged in between them. I think it is still the Essendon runner. Excuse me, in Kays. But Duncan leads the way at the bell. Kearney. Morrow, also Kays. Gap then to Clark. Then Hartley. Then it's Tuddenham. And then Williams. But out front, gee, big run here from Amy Joy Duncan. Very impressive. I'm not sure if Kearney will have the gears to go up here to chase down Duncan. She's gone relatively early, but 300 metres out. It is Duncan, Kearney, Nelson. Then Morrow. The gap not getting any bigger, so Kearney's just biding her time here. She might have a gear or two. Let's see. Duncan more inexperienced. Kearney probably the most experienced of that lead bunch, and she is just really putting in a good race. This is going to be another ripper finish here. Kearney to the outside of Duncan. So I've called Kearney in many, many races. I don't think I've called too many wins. Can she get it here tonight? But Duncan's not giving up. But I think the strength of Kearney's going to get her through. Madeline Kearney, great racing, good strategy. And Madeline Kearney will take this next race She'll be on about the 10-11, 10-12 mark. Impressive from Duncan. First time we've seen her. Also a good run there from Asher Morrow, sub 10-20. And then we have Nelson and also Clark coming through. The Mentone runner there. Let's see. That was Eliza Ayres. Didn't call the whole Eliza. Rose Ashman coming through. Next one in will be Lily Baker. Also Emily Wetzel's, Lel Kovacs. But impressive running. Madeline Kearney, Doncaster taking it out. Sophia Bateman, one of the locals, next one through. Then we'll have Emily Tawney, Wendouree, and then Donaldson from South Melbourne. Looks like Boyd will be next one through for Wellington. And Georgie Lindsay, well done Georgie. She's gutsed it out. Tough run there for Georgie tonight. Good to see her finishing off. And it will be Grace Young, last finisher here in the women's C, 3,000 metres. So next up, the men's F 3,000 metres, due to start at 7:36 p.m. We have a full field of 20 starters, the men's F 3,000 metres. Once again, big thank you to our new sponsors, Runners Paradise. So go and visit Danny over in the tent. Warm his heart with a few purchases, that would be lovely. But full range of gear here tonight, courtesy of Runners Paradise, our sponsor of Victorian Milers Club. They'll be sponsoring our Encouragement Award, and I'm keeping my eye out for a few big runs. Madeline Kearney, that was a ripper, so she could be in contention. But we'll wait for our judges to make the call on the Encouragement Awards. And don't forget our fantastic hosts here, Sandringham Athletic Club, putting on a great barbecue, and also canteen is open. As the sun goes down and the air temperature drops, I think a good opportunity to get in and get some more food. As they're off now in the men's F3000, Aaron Williams is in Station 1, Darren Mulcahy in 2, Luke Wen is in Station 3, Vaughan Smith in 4. From Eureka we have Cody Taggart in 5, Samuel Duncan Essendon in 6, Jessie Nankervis YCW in 7, Lucian Mail is in Station 8, Joel Dean from Mentone in 9, Kieran Morley from Eureka 10, Adam Conway, Wendouree is in 11. Oscar Woodhouse, Wellington in 12. Zhenkong Zhao from Melbourne University in 13. Cooper Dimitrenko from Essendon in 14. Oliver Scott, Mentone in 15. In 16, from Nunawading, Alan Vernal, Dylan Jennings, Knox in 17. Dempsey Podmore, Traralgon in 18. Alex Pisa de Chiero from Mentone in 19. And from Frankston, Justin Woolsey in Station 20. And it was Oscar Woodhouse leading the way at the moment. So the Gippsland boys. Podmore from Traralgon looks like he's sitting in second. So Wellington versus Traralgon out front. I'd say Vernal sitting there in third. To the outside of him, one of the Mentone runners. So we'll spot them as they come round. Zhenkong Zhao in next position. And then it looks like it's the Knox uniform that would be Dylan Jennings sitting in next spot. But out front, Wellington leads the way, courtesy of Oscar Woodhouse. He's got a 9:10 seed time. 9:08, I think, is the lead seed time here. And that is Cody Taggart from Eureka. Cody's sitting midfield at the moment. So approaching 6 laps to go. Woodhouse, Podmore, Vernal. Then we have Pisa Chiero. Not far off the back of him, Darren Mulcahy wearing the yellow shirt. Gee, they're well bunched here. No more than 6 or 7 seconds. Currently splitting the entire field. Pace is going nicely, but let's see as they go through the next lap whether they are content with this or they want to start pushing it. See the taller figure of Nankervis sitting midfield. Taggart just off the back of him. His teammate from the Ballarat region, but from different clubs. And as I say that, Cody Taggart just starts to edge ahead of YCW's Nankervis. Mulcahy sitting on the rails. Gee, there's a bit happening at the moment. Pisa Chiero still sitting in 4th position. But Woodhouse doing a good job out front. But as they go through the 1K mark, we'll get a real feel for pace here. They'd be wanting to go through around that around the 3-minute mark, I reckon, is what they'll be targeting in this F race for men. They'll be wanting to get, will we see our first sub-9 here this evening? Woodhouse doing a good job. Is anyone going to take the lead off him, though, at any stage? As they approach this opening kilometre, they'll be the wrong side of 3 minutes. And I think a few of the boys might get a bit antsy about that. They're probably shooting 3:03, so they're on 9:10 pace. So 9:10 pace as they go through the opening kilometre. Woodhouse, Podmore, Vernal, Pisa Chiero, Mulcahy, Taggart in that order. Now see, I think that might be the Wendouree runner starting to come through as well, and that's Adam Conway. Woodhouse looking good, but if they want to chase that sub-9, they've really got to pick the pace up over this next couple of laps. So through the 1200 and 340 thereabouts. Woodhouse still looking good. Nothing wrong with what he's doing. They've just got to eke out a second or two. And hopefully that last kilometre, if this is still a very tight race, we might see the sub 72 second laps really start to crumble in the final stages of the race. But it's a long line as they come in. The taller figure of Nankervis standing out. Duncan now making his move down the side from Athletics Essendon. Taggart sitting nicely on the rails. Also running nicely at the moment, Aaron Williams. Absolutely no change out front. Woodhouse, Podmore, Vernal, Pisa Chiero, Mulcahy. Duncan, the one who's come through. Then it's Taggart. Then for Wendouree, it's Conway. Nankervis. Jennings starting to make a little bit of a move. Aaron Williams in next position. Zheng Kong Zhao next.
About 4 seconds behind now.
So about 3:03 the opening kilometre. I think they're maintaining that pace, but we'll know as they come through round onto that next lap. They're going to get 3 laps to go. That's 1,200 out. They're 1,300 out as they come through at the moment. Woodhouse leads. Podmore has not moved. Vernal, the same. Pisa Chiero. Now we're seeing Taggart make a bit of a move. So Cody Taggart, one of our top seeds, starting to make a move. Mulcahy with him. Samuel Duncan now on the rails. Nankervis to the outside of him. Then Jennings, then Cow and Williams. Now we might see a little bit of a change. Alan Vernal, I think, might be the one of the ones to decide it's time to go up as they approach the 2 kilometre mark. So Woodhouse, Podmore now in 3rd position. Taggart looks like he wants to go. Mulcahy the same. So Vernal. Alan Vernal, one of the more experienced runners in this race from Nunawading. He takes the lead. And we are going to be around the 6:08 mark. So that's a 3:05 second kilometre. I think they're going to start to bring it in over the final kilometre, but I can't see them breaking that 9 minutes from here. It's going to take a really big lift and a 2:50 thereabouts to do that, or 2:52. So Vernal showing plenty of pluck as he goes forward here. Mulcahy looking strong now. Taggart's running wide, but he's in a good position there as Cody Taggart. Pisa de Chiro on the rails and boxed in. So too is Podmore. Conway also looking good. Nankervis, the gap to him, then Duncan. And then we've got Lucian Mail. Now Taggart takes the lead. So there has been quite a bit of change. Mulcahy, he's looked strong all the way through. So the polo shirt moving along nicely in that second position. Woodhouse still in third. Podmore in fifth because he's got Pisa de Chiro just ahead of him. Then Conway and Vernal. Duncan making a move on Nankervis. Then Lucian Mail in next position and Aaron Williams. So 600 out. Cody Taggart, one of our top seeds. He's got Darren Mulcahy. And now we're seeing, I think, the Woodhouse again. So this is really impressive. So led for the majority of the race, got passed by a couple of runners. Now it's Woodhouse, 500 out, who leads once again. Conway looking good. Podmore's now got free space. He's gone wide, but that gives him an opportunity to go. But it is Mulcahy as well, looking strong. But Conway will lead it with one to go. 7:59 on the clock as they go through. So we're looking around that maybe 9:05, 9:06 potentially finish time. But Mulcahy's winding it up. Podmore in the mix here. Then Pisa Chiro, Taggart, Mail. Bit of a gap then to Williams. But out front it is Adam Conway leading the way from Wendouree. Woodhouse been so prominent so much of the journey. So too has Podmore. Mulcahy might have run his race as we're seeing Pisa de Chiro just getting ahead of him. So 200 out. Has Adam Conway got the goods here? He's going to be chased by Podmore and also Woodhouse. Maybe Podmore's got the goods here. I'm not sure. It looks like Woodhouse hasn't given up. Conway striding nicely into the home straight. So the man from Ballarat looking good here. Woodhouse is going to have to go wide. They're winding it up once again. So Conway's made a good move here, but Woodhouse isn't done with yet. Either is Pisa de Chiro, who's coming home like a train. So Conway in the front. Woodhouse will take it, and that's justifiable. So good run from Pisa de Chiro as well as Podmore. Interesting race, that one, but Woodhouse will take it. Williams also through now with Luke Wen just behind him with Taggart. But around the 9.5, 9.6 mark, but very interesting race. And a good win there for Oscar Woodhouse. So Morby coming through. Also Vaughan Smith, Woolhouse, and rounding out the field will be Dmitrenko. And one more to come through, I think, from Mentone. But once again, some great racing here at Milers Club. Just the wrong side of the 9-minute mark. And I think our next race, we might see that come crumbling down. As we see Oliver Scott coming across the line right on the 10-minute mark. Is event number 9 of 15. Looks like we have 19 starters in their starters' hands at the moment. So this should be our first sub-9 here. We've got a couple who've already gone under that mark within this race. And it's a very tightly seeded race. Probably 8:58 through to 9:07 seem to be the seed times. And they are underway. Willem Duncan from Mentones in Station 1. Alfie Onley is in 2. Cheyenne Buller in Melbourne Uni in Station 3. Khalil Warko in Station 4. From Old Scotch, Rory Boyd in 5. Craig Appleby from Knox in 6. Lockie Fangmeyer Essendon in Station 7. Maximilian Reeves, Sandringham in 9. Jasper Bignor from Glen Huntley in 10. Thomas McArthur, South Bendigo in 11. Broden Bond, Ballerine in 13. Eric Wood, Albury in 14. Archie Hewitt from Mornington in 15. Nicholas Hirsch and Maccabi in 16. Brody Batt, Diamond Valley in 17. Darcy Pound, Box Hill 18. Nawaz Kalfan, Melbourne Uni in 20. His teammates, Jerry Stamoulis from Melbourne Uni in 20. And Mackay Morrison from a Box Hill in 22. So leading the way, looks like it was Willem Duncan. Hip number 1. Brody Batt not too far off the back of him. Morrison in next position. Looks like a Scotch uniform getting around there as well, and that would be Rory Boyd. So very tightly bunched, as expected. So Broden Bond sitting at the rear of the field at the moment. Watch for him to come through. Buller also near the rear there. But the pace is certainly quite willing as they get themselves started in this men's E-race. And this is where we will be expecting the sub 9 minutes. You can see Wood going wide in the field at the moment in the Albury, the teal uniform of Albury. But hip number 1, Willem Duncan, 9:01.27, Duncan's best time. He would love to have that sub 9 minutes. Stamoulis there, sitting in 3rd position in the Melbourne Uni kit. Craig Appleby, looking good in the new Knox uniform. Reminder that Craig is a former World Cross representative for Australia, one of the senior citizens of the field, but look at that movement as Craig Appleby comes alongside Stamoulis and moves into 3rd position, and I think might have the goods to go straight into 2nd. So he's going to give our leader, Willem Duncan, a little bit of a push along here because they need to maintain good momentum. They're going through right on 9-minute pace, so 2:24 thereabouts over the 800. They're sitting on the 72s. So Duncan, obviously a little bit less experienced than Appleby, so he'd love it if Apples would just take the lead and just carve out a couple of laps here at that 71, 70-second pace. They need that little bit of a buffer. But Appleby looking smooth. Duncan very nicely on the inside rail there. Led all of the journey here. Now we're seeing a nice move there from Khalil Warko. Don't know much about him, and he's got a 9:05 seed time. So the more we can get out front pushing that pace along, the better. If they want to get the sub 9 minutes. They're right on target time at the moment. And Warko's moved beautifully into that 3rd position. A little bit of a gap then to Batt. Stamoulis in next spot. And then I think it's Boyd. Archie Hewitt also up there. Just watching for the moves from Bond as well. He's sitting mid of that chasing pack. But Appleby just sitting one out, one back now as they come into the home straight to get 4 laps to go. So just over a mile out now. Willem Duncan done the leading. Khalil Warko moved into good position. Eric Wood's the one who's making the moves from the chase pack. So Appleby still looking strong here. Duncan leading the way. And it's Wood who's starting to make the charge here. And now we're seeing another little bit of a move, and that's from the Mornington runner. Archie Hewitt. So Hewitt's making some good strides here, and I think could go through and join that lead pack. Another nice move from the young man in blue. We'll pick him up as he comes around next lap. Could be Nick Hershen actually from, and that could be the Maccabi kit. It certainly is. So Hershen now moves into 5th position. Woods in 6th. Gap then to Stimulus. Broden Bond in next position. He's sitting midfield. He's got a nice kick. He's a good 800-metre runner. Now Appleby finally takes the lead. Hershen's going to push them forward, though. This is good for all of them. And Wood has also joined the party out front. So I think they've drifted a little bit from that 9-minute pace, but we'll find out as they go through the 2-kilometre mark on the other side of the track. That'll be 5 laps in. So Apple's starting to stretch them out a bit. Hershen using those arms to drive, looking good. Very impressed with the form of Khalil Wako, though. He's looking very solid in the 4th position. Then Wood and also Hewitt. I think Lockie Fangmeyer might be in next position. So they've gone through right on that 6-minute mark. So right on 9 minutes. So it will have to be Appleby forcing this pace. Hershen's moving well. Looks like Broden Bond's moved into the next position. I said watch out for this young man. He's got a finishing kick. And if anyone can kick down over 2.5 laps here, it will be Bond from Ballerine. Appleby, Williams, Hershen, Wako, then Bond, Hewitt, Wood, Fangmeyer, then Morrison, making a move, Mackay Morrison, Alfie Onley. Bond starts to make his move. He's moved from 5th to 4th to 3rd. Hershen, look at those arms really pumping. Nick Hershen really driving, but Bond looking very, very smooth. Appleby still looking good out the front, but now Bond's the man who's making the charge. As I said, he's an 800-metre specialist stepping up here to the 3,000. And if anyone has a kick down, it will be Broden Bond. Making it look easy now as he moves away from Hershen, pouncing now or approaching the shoulder of Craig Appleby. So Appleby, Bond, Hershen, Wako. Then it's Duncan, Morrison. So deciding not to pass Appleby yet, Broden Bond's made a big move to get on to the back of Craig Appleby. This is going to be another big last lap. So they're going to go through. I think we're going to see the sub-3 here. They're really going to kick it down. So Appleby leads. Bond in next position. Then Wako, Hershen. They're really starting to come in now. Quite a few of the boys are in contention here of the sub-3, but let's watch the action down the back straight. We've got the experience of Craig Appleby. We've got the raw 800-metre talent of Broden Bond being stretched over the 3,000, but Bond launches. Look at that form. That's what you see an 800-metre doing, or 800-metre running specialist, just really going for it now. He's got the leg speed here. Appleby's just got to hold on. Wako in next position. Hershen still really gutsing this one out. Morrison's been impressive as well. But up the top end, going past the water jump the last time, it will be Broden Bond really pulling this pace in here. It's 8:33 on the clock as he comes down the stretch, and it will be Broden Bond taking victory here in the men's 3,000 metres. He'll be our first man under the 9-minute mark. So too will be Craig Appleby, one of the veterans of the field. So great running there. Broden Bond, he'll take it. 8:50 thereabouts. Good run from Appleby. Can we get anyone else under? I think we might get Wako under. He's just got to push it through here. He'll get the sub. Morrison right on the mark as well. Looks like Duncan just might be unlucky once again. And to the inside of him was, I think, the old Scotch runner there in Boyd. As we see Stimulus come through. Also Bat. Next one in will be the South Bendigo runner there in MacArthur. Cheyenne Buller. And then from Sandringham, our final runner, Maximilian Reeve, will stop the clock around the 9:40 mark or just under. So impressive running once again. Very brave of Craig Appleby. He pushed it out there, but it was the fitness of the young man from Ballerine. And as Broden Bond came home beautifully there to get his first ever sub-9, I believe. Field of 20 and a split start required for our men's D 3,000 metres event number 10 out of 15. So we're moving through the program beautifully, right on time as always with Milers Club. So big thank you to our Victorian officials, also our volunteer helpers from the Milers Club and the AV staff who are ensuring another good night here. Also thanks to the team from Sandringham Athletics Club. They're working beautifully. A lot of reasonably handy athletes, seeing what it's like to be helpers on the night. And away we go, the men's D 3,000 metres. Charles Lay is in 1, James Taranto Box Hill in 2, Jack Ellis Chilwell 3, Matthew Bergen Mentone in 4, Riley Stewart Wellington in 5, Max Ueda from Melbourne Uni in 6, Charlie Morton Essendon in station 7, Jackson Lynch Deacon in station 8, James Hatton is in 9. Looks like we've got a pacer in this one as well, which is good to see. So the pace maybe getting a little bit carried away as we see Riley Stewart trying to chase them down. But Liam Stocky sitting there in station 10 from Old Zavarians. Max Anderson from Ringwood in 11. Jacob Cheeseman Wendouree in 12. Jake Hilson from South Bendigo in 13. Curtis Scott Knox in 14. Riley Shalito from Ballarat YCW is in 15. James Lay is in 16. Daniel Malone Knox in 17. Solomon Myson, Keyless and Burners in 18. Jackson Unthank Ballerine in station 19. And Tom Harvey is in 20. So I think that might be Unthank sitting in first position. Riley Stewart sitting in second behind the pacer. So the pacer in the reddy orangey coloured top from Milers Club. So got the pacer top on. Makes my job fairly easy. As we see the pace really looking quite nice as they start to settle into this event. Unthank leading on the track. Stewart in next position. Looks like Shalito in next. Then James Lay. You can see Malone mid-pack there at the moment. Hatton deciding to sit at the rear of the field. He's got Lynch with him. Ueda not too far in front, but it's pretty well spread early on here. Not sure exactly what the pace maker has been set out to do. 68-second laps has been the instruction apparently. So Unthank's the only man going with the pacer at the moment. Stewart in next position, and then Shalito. So the Chilwell runner will be next position. That's Jack Ellis. So some pretty handy runners in this event. There's really only Jackson Unthank able to go with the pacer in the early stages as we approach 1 kilometre. Unthank's coming in with an 8:51 PB. Looking to crush that. Unfortunately, Twin not running in the race, so my job is that little bit easier. Beautiful running there, 2:52. So they're in the 8:30 range at the moment, and a whole bunch of the field are probably in that 8:30 to 8:40 range. This is very impressive running with our tail ender Hatton going through right on the 9-minute mark. So a good spread here, but decent running out front as we're seeing Unthank just moving beautifully down the back straight, courtesy of that tailwind. Stewart still in second position. Lay's in the teal coloured uniform, that's James. Try and pick up who's to the outside of him. But the gap out front now out to about 40 metres. Unthank's here on a mission, I'd say. Don't often see him running into the 3,000 metres, more commonly over the 8s and 15s, but this is very impressive early season form for Jackson Unthank. 8:51's the PB. I think tonight we're going to see that absolutely crushed. So 1,600, 1 mile to go for Unthank. 4 laps, and their pacer, what a job. That was really good. Alice in next position now. Curtis Scott from Knox going wide. From Keyless and Birders, also you've got Solomon Myson running very nicely. Hilson sitting mid-pack of the chasers. I think Cheeseman's just gone ahead of him. Lay is working very strongly, but it is on his own now. Jackson Unthank out by 40 metres over Alice. Scott. Meeson's making a good move there. Now Lay decides to get back into the picture, goes past Stewart. Cheeseman also running beautifully. But the gap now out to 50 metres. So Unthank still extending this break. He's by himself into the breeze as he comes into the home straight, so we want the crowd to support him. So let's get behind a very brave run out from front from Jackson Unthank. Curtis Scott now clearly in second position, and he's getting that peloton organised here to chase down the leader. But with 3 laps to go, Jackson Unthank still leads by 40 metres. Scott, Meeson, Lay, Alice. Also up there, Shalito, Stewart, Cheeseman. Hilson also in good position. So 2 kilometres down, 5:45 on the clock. So we're going to see a big PB here from Unthank. He'll hold on beautifully over this last kilometre. We know he's got the juice to do it. So it is Unthank leading. Oh, it's up to about 70, maybe 80 metres now for Unthank coming into the home straight. And he'll be getting 2 laps to go. So once again, we need big support for Unthank. It's been brave out front since the pacer dropped after lap number 4. He's looking good. He's looking relaxed. Still good posture and good facial expressions as Jackson Unthank comes through to get 2 to go. Lay in next position. This chase group is very impressive, though. They're going to push forward. Unthank's putting on a show, but these guys are also looking at a range of PBs here. Cheeseman and Alice nearly coming together there. Hilson just to the back of them. Malone coming through to get 2 laps to go. So Meeson now coming alongside Lay as in the chasing group. Stewart on the rails. Scott right alongside him. So is Shalito, Cheeseman, Hilson, Alice. 8:51.57's his personal best. We're going to see that absolutely smashed here tonight. It is Jackson Unthank coming through. Less than 500 to go. So let's give him a real big Sandringham welcome here, because this young man really needs some support over the final stages here. So he's approaching the last lap. Time check, it'll be right on 7:30 as he goes through. So Unthank, 1 lap to go. Scott back into the second position here. Stewart still battling on. Meeson's on the rails. Shalito, also the 2 Lay brothers. Cheeseman, Hilson's looking strong. Next one through there is Tom Harvey from Richmond. So a lot of interest in the chasers, but out front it is Unthank. Let's really give him a lot of support as he hits that last 200 metres. So 200 out, Jackson Unthank. 8:08 as he goes through that final 200 to go. And now lots of interest in that next. It looks like Meeson's taken the position. Shalito's going for it as well. Hilson's in there. He's a pro runner. He knows how to finish through a pack here, Hilson. But it is Shalito making the surge. Meeson looks like he's running out of legs. Stewart's still going. One of the lay boys also there, and Scott. But let's get behind Jackson Unthank. 8:51 was the best. We're going to see a run here under the 8:40 mark if we can get in there, or we'll be right on. So massive PB. So Jackson Unthank will take it. 8:41 unofficial. Shalito and Hilson. Stewart coming home strong. So Shalito will take the next position. Then it was close between Stewart and Hilson. Lay through. Also Scott. Cheeseman through at 8:54. Next one through there was Charlie Morton. So quite a few sub 9 minutes, including Alice, will be right on the mark. Daniel Malone will be next one through. Then we'll have Liam Stocky from Old Zavarians. Matthew Bergen from Mentone. Hatton, strong run from James as he'll come through under the 9:20 mark. Lynch in next position and Ueda. So we now move to the women's B 3,000 metres. We'll be doing a split start and we will announce the field before they start. Also, on top, we will be running this one for the Dash for Cash. So the leader or the winner, provided they're in legal shoes, will be taking home a $100 cash for winning the B 3,000 metres. Now, field is Chloe Grund from Knox in Station 1. Serena Bryant from Glen Huntley in Station 2. Matisse Lazari, Athletics Essendon in 3. Harley Whitshead is in Station 5. Emily Saladana from Sandringham is in 6. Olivia DaCosta Els from Sandringham in 7. From Wellington Athletics, we have Zali Metcalf in 9. Kira Sullivan from South Melbourne in 10. Bridget Williams from South Melbourne in Station 11. Sadie Bird from Glen Huntley in 12. Charlotte Jackson from Athletics Essendon in 13. Gabrielle Vince from Sandringham in 15. Willow Devine from Mentone is in 16. Poppy Nivarovic from Deakin in 17. Michaela Young from Collingwood Harriers in 18. Elizabeth Craig Sandringham in 19. Julian Petit Pierre in 20. Bridget Humphrey in 21. And Bonnie Burt from Ballarat YCW in Station 22. Women's B, 3,000 metres, the Dash for Cash. So underway, split start for the women's B 3,000 metres. A great field here for this B race, and as they settle, gee, they're bolting, and I think Grund is really pushing the pace early. Vincent seems to be going with her, and the others start to come across and start to settle. So Vincent, Nivarovic, Bonnie Burt, then we have Whitshead, Bridget Williams. So a very fast start here in this B race. It is the Dash for Cash. So former Australian representative sitting in second position there. That is Gabrielle Vincent representing Sandringham, but Chloe Grund, the youngster, leading the way. Nice little battle at the moment between Nivarovic and also Burt. Whitshead running unattached, but she's the Albury runner, has run for Albury Athletics. Williams, former Victorian cross-country champ in her age group, sitting in that next position. Bit of a nice clear break out front between Grund and also Vincent. So the wind once again coming up a little bit more. We're expecting it to drop as the evening went on, but it's been quite gusty in the latter races here. But we have seen some very good racing nonetheless, and some good times as Chloe Grund pushes that pace forward. Whitsed in next position. We just see Elizabeth Craig also making a move there. So 10:08 is the seed time, or the best time for Chloe Grund. So they're approaching the 800 metre mark now. And they're going to be under 10 minute schedule. So the leaders are through in around 2:35, 2:36. The rest of the field through in about 2:42. So they're just the other side of 10 minute schedule at the moment. But our lead two definitely under the 10 metres. As we know, Gab Vincent can certainly go under that, and she has on many occasions. She's put down a seed time of 10 minutes. And that lead pack, the chasing pack there, courtesy of Whitsed, Burt, also Nuvarovic was amongst the actions. You can see Bridge Williams just sitting in a nice position as well in the South Melbourne colours. As Grund and Vincent come through at the 1 kilometre mark. So they're just going to be about the 3:17, 3:18 mark. So they're under the 10 minute schedule. The rest of the pack coming through probably around 10:10 mark at the moment. So 3:25 thereabouts. Humphrey and also Saldana sitting at the rear of the field, but still moving along very nicely on a good pace. So no change out front whatsoever. Chloe Grund leading the way, but looks like Vincent's now starting to get a bit of a move on. Good early season form for Gab Vincent, and this is good to see. She's certainly on the way back, looking very, very solid as she goes around and takes the lead in the early stages of this 3,000 metres. Whitsed's doing a good job. Burt sitting in good position. Williams next behind her. Grund just trying to keep contact there with Gabrielle Vincent. Whitsed doing a really good job of forcing pace. I think we might be seeing that gap just starting to come in the loop between Grund and also Whitsed. So they've been patient sitting in the next group. But Grund sticking nicely now to Vincent and just following her pace. Whitsed, Burt, Williams. Matisse Lazari in next position. Sadie Bird up there. Also Young, Sullivan. DaCosta Elves moving nicely as well. Serena Bryant coming through. Also Julene Petit-Pierre. And Whitsed is really starting to drive that chase pack nicely. Grund and Vincent going nice. Grund has not dropped from Vincent and in fact does look very strong. But I believe that the chasers is just starting to edge into that lead. So they'll be coming through to get 3 laps to go. I think they're just going through the mile mark now. So Whitsed's just getting away a little bit from Burt. Williams still in that next position. And it looks like Grund might be in a position to take over that lead, but I think Whitsed is also starting to really edge that gap. Vincent still leading. Grund sitting right on the shoulder here. So they're really pushed, but that chase pack really coming at them now. That gap is down to about 10 metres. Whitsed looking very good. So too is Williams. Impressive also from Sadie Bird. We've seen some great running from Sadie in recent years. Willow Devine also, I haven't called her at all, but Willow from Mentone also looking very, very, very strong. Now luckily, Vincent and Grund are together because they are pushing each other along because the chasers are starting to come at them but they haven't bridged that gap over the last 150 metres. So 6:46 thereabouts at the 2 kilometre mark. So the pace has gone off a little bit. It was around that or under that 3:20 mark as I went through kilometre number 1. It's dropped a bit on kilometre number 2. We know it's quite windy here this evening. And it's hard to be out front. Now we're seeing Sadie Bird making a little bit of a move from the chasers. But into the last kilometre for the whole field now. Grund retakes the lead. So the youngster from Knox. But watch out for the likes of Young coming through strongly from Collingwood. Bird has looked good all the way. You've also got Williams in that pack. Bonnie Burt, Lazari, also Devine. Next one through there is Zali Metcalf. Then you've got Craig, Sullivan. Also Charlotte Jackson. Chloe Grund still leading the way. It is the Dash for Cash as well, remember. So if they're in the legal shoes, it's $100 on offer for this event. Now we're seeing some big moves. Grund is leading. Vincent about to be joined. Bird is one of those who's coming through. So 500 metres out, this race will be very, very close. Grund leading. Does she have the kick? Because you have got the likes of Bird and also Young, who I picked earlier, was moving nicely. Lazari also starting to really pick it up here. So race in 3. Vincent in next position, but Lazari, Whitshead, also Burt and Williams coming at them. Then Devine, Metcalf. I was challenging Grund to see if she's got any kick, and she has got that bit of a kick. Bird is with her. Young's got the longer levers there, the young lady from Collingwood. This is going to be right on in this back straight. So once again, great racing. Lazari's moved herself into clear 4th position. Whitshead in next, then Williams and Burt going nicely. But out front, Grund still leads. Bird starting to make the move. She's gone on the shoulder. Young's right in the footsteps as they go around, but Grund will not give up the lead as they go around the top bend last time. Bird goes up another gear. Sadie Bird leading. Now Young starting to make the move on the outside. Grund might be done with now. Lazari coming home strong. Bird on the inside. Young on the outside, but I think the more experienced runner there in Young might be emerging from the shadows here at Sandringham, but Bird's still challenging all the way. Time check 9:55. They're just going to be outside the 10-minute mark. Young to the outside, Bird to the inside. I'd probably call it Bird from here, but we'll wait for photo. Grund, great running from Chloe Grund, just over 10 minutes. Bridge Williams, or Lazari Williams, Whitshead, Burt, Vincent, and also Metcalf, then Devine in that order. So 10:20 on the clock now. As we see Craig coming through, Jackson and also Sullivan will be next to finish. Then we'll have DaCosta Elves and Bryant coming through. The next one in will be Petit Pierre. Then Saldana, Emily Saldana from Sandringham next, and Nivarovic will get her in under the 11-minute mark. So great racing out there. Very close between Bird and Young. We'll wait for photo on it. I was on the wrong angle. Who'd they give it to, Rocket? Inside, so the blue? Yeah. The blue got it? Inside? So it looks like the judges have given it to Sadie Bird. So close racing there between Bird and Young, but it looks like Bird just outstretched Young in that final stage, but very, very good racing. And Big raps also to Grund. What a great run that was. But yeah, Sadie Bird taking home $100.
They were. Oh, I forgot to check in. Come on.
Southfield for the men's C 3,000 metres, and there are 21 starters. Jared Zukovsky from Maccabi in 1, Luke Bodle, Old Scotch in 2, James Curry is in 3. From Knox we have Matthew Venner in 4, Cullen Goldsmith Mornington in 5, Rory Vile, Old Scotch in 6, Callum Settle Ringwood in 7, Harrison Carr from Old Scotch in 8, Josh Carlin from Box Hill in 9, Tyler Finch, South Bendigo in 10, Kane Hill Keema from Glenn Huntley in Station 11, Bevan Does from Frankston in 12, Harry Maddox from Doncaster in 13, Tom McFarlane from Glenn Huntley in 14, in 15 from Melbourne University, Jonathan Squires, Eddie Fransky from Albury in 16, Western A's Jackson Wright in 17, Jet Keeley from Knox in 18, Archie Sideridis from Glenn Huntley in 20, Darcy Williams from Wendouree in 21, and Tom Daveron from Sandringham in 22. So underway now, the C 3,000 metres. So top seeds here around the 8:35 mark. So we'll be looking at them running around that 250 or under per kilometre. As we see, Sideridis taking the lead early. So split field as they come across. Finch on the inside though from South Bendigo. He's decided he really wants to push this pace. So Tyler Finch really chasing time tonight, and I think this is going to be good. No paces in this race, but we don't need it because there's a very talented group of young men here, and they're all looking for starts in the Zatopek. Sorry, the De Castella 3,000 metres on December 14. And they've got to prove themselves by getting the times right here, right now at Milers Club. So this is our C 3,000 metres. It is the 12th of 15 events. And the pace, courtesy of Tyler Finch, is definitely on early stages. So nice light over there at the 400 metre mark. 68 seconds. They are chasing it here. So right on target. So the field very compact still. Now it looks like Fransky's going to take a little bit of a turn out front. This is good. They're just shifting it around a little bit. So Fransky leads the way. Sideridis sitting in third position. Tom Daveron sitting nicely. Also you got Jet Keeley in good position from Knox. But yeah, nothing separating the field really at the moment. They're all very, very compact and moving nicely as Fransky really gets the rhythm going once again. Davern, you can see, he's just getting a little bit edgy, and he comes alongside Sidoritas. Still early stages here, though. So 68 opening lap. Let's see if we can get them under that 220 mark as they hit the 800 metres. So pace has gone off just a little bit. It's around the 219 mark at the 800. So Fransky, the one is really pushing the pace at the moment. Now we're seeing Fransky just starting to gap the field. So the boys are going to have to work together if they want to bridge that gap and really keep on pace here to get around that 830 mark. So 250 is what's required for an 830. They're going to be a little bit off that mark. It's 250 now. So the boys are just dropping pace a little bit. Harry Maddox, one of the ones who's forcing his way forward. So 258, the tail runners there as they go through. But that's still not as good as what they require if they want to get the times thereafter. So they've got to work together out front. It's going to be a very cohesive race from all of these runners. They take their turns out front, as we've seen in many of the other races as well. The best way to get big results is take your turn out front and push that pace. Fransky still leads. Maddox is up there. Davern still in good position. Goldsmith starting to become quite prominent. Looks like Curlin's going to make his mark as well. So Josh Carlin takes the lead. To the outside then you've got McFarlane. Doe's in good position. Couple starting to just drop off the back of the field. There's Josh Carlin leads the way. Davern, as we've said, always been in the right spot. Goldsmith starting to move nicely, comes alongside Fransky. Carlin and Davern still leading. Goldsmith in good position, sitting third. Nice move now from Venner in the Knox uniform. Maddox still up there. Keeley on the inside. McFarlane also there.
Mr. Large sends his greetings to you.
Carlin doing a lot of the work out front. Will we see another change of lead? Davern's been sitting pretty the whole way, and Venner is making the moves, and I think Matt Venner might be the one who takes over the pace here, approaching the 2 kilometre mark. So sitting about 550 there at the 2K mark, so pace probably not what they want. The cold conditions and potentially the wind maybe just taking a bit of the zip out of this field, because a lot of these boys can run well into the 840s, if not go under into the 830s. Venner leads, Maddox back in. Goldsmith looming in that position about number 3 or 4. On the rails, you've got Davern. Now McFarlane's looking solid. James Curry also making his moves. 2 laps out. Goldsmith, Maddox, Goldsmith about to take the lead from Venner, so another change out front. This is pushing it nicely. I think we're going to see a big kick down here. So Cullen Goldsmith, Mornington Peninsula, 600 out, 7 minutes on the clock. $500 to go. Maddox sitting right behind Goldsmith as they come through home straight for the second last time. Venner in third still, then Davern. Now we're seeing the Wendouree uniform starting to move through. It's Darcy Williams. Curry also up there. Rory Vile from Knox also in the picture. Fransky at the back of that pack, but it's Goldsmith and Maddox. They're really duking it out front. Goldsmith made the big move down the back straight last time, but Maddox is right in the slipstream. Venner next, then Williams, Vile. So Wright coming through to get the bell. No change out front. Goldsmith tries to break Maddox as they go around the top bend last time. So coming around into the home straight. No change. Maddox is going to have to drift wide. Goldsmith will dominate that inside lane. Maddox goes wide and tries hard, but Goldsmith goes up another gear. It's on. They're going to push each other to this line, but Maddox just coming over the top. Good run, Harry Maddox. He'll take the win here in about the 8:34 mark. Good run from Goldsmith. Vile in next position, then Venner, Williams, Davern, Curry. Sideritis next, about 8:41. Then McFarlane. So Finch through. Also Fransky. So 8:50 on the clock now. Zukovsky through next. Carlin through. Doze will be next one to finish. And final finisher will be Jackson Wright from Western Athletics. But an impressive win there. So 8:40 the seed time for Maddox, and he's gone well under that to take the win, but also good running Cullen Goldsmith. So 8:30, I reckon he's about right on that. We'll wait for the photo finish. But an exciting finish there to the men's C 3,000 metres. Photo finish could not split them, so both will take over $100. Next event, the men's B 3,000 metres. We have a full field of 20. There'll be no more split starts. So we have in Station 1, we welcome, he's going to be running twice tonight, but Seth O'Donnell, Australian representative at the World Championships, is running 2 races. So he'll be starting in the B race, and it will then line up in the A race. Brandon Muscat from Western A's will be in station 2. Musa Janimo Jagula from South Melbourne in 3. Josh Johnson from Eureka in 4. Logan Wagner from Melbourne Uni in 5. Sam Bunnage, Mentone 6. Caden Murray, Diamond Valley in 7. Michael Tozen, Mentone in 8. Sam Elverson, Mentone in 9. Ben Mornane from Eureka in station 10. Tom Forster, St Kevin's in 11. Lucas Sidoritis from Glen Huntley in 12. Steve Langdon from Melbourne Uni in 13. James Paproff, Sandringham in 14. Brady Ryan, Glen Huntley in 15. Josh Unfank from Ballerine in 16. Alex Hannigan, St Kevin's 17. Alex Rawley is in 18. Hamish Donahue, Sandringham in 19. And Ben Stevens, Eureka in 20. And away they go. So some very big names, including Seth O'Donnell. So as we said, he's doing a bit of a training session here tonight, running the B and the A race. So this will be interesting. And probably quite similar to the last time we saw Seth running a Milers Club. It's relatively dark, but we don't expect people out with their mobile phones this time. As we see Seth moving through nicely. Looks like he's got Hannigan, Donahue. Then we have Albiston in that order. Jagula going wide. Looks like might be Tozen sitting towards the back of the field. Stevens is certainly there as well with Langdon and Murray, but the pace is very, very much on because Seth really wants to push 2 races here over the 3,000 metres. We will be seeing Seth at the Zatopek 10, which is great news for us. So Seth will be lining up there. So December 14, we want to see a big crowd at Lakeside Stadium for the Athletics Victoria Zatopek 10. So opening lap 67. So they're on shade over 8-minute pace, and O'Donnell really got them moving. Hannigan, good to see the young man from Tasmania lining up in the St Kevin's uniform. Another Tasmanian making their way across. We've had a few good Tasmanians, a few not so good Tasmanians make their way over. And it is O'Donnell, Hannigan, Donahue, Stevens, Albiston, Jagula. I think Unthank, we saw his twin run such a good race. At least this time we've got Josh has got plenty of coverage around him. And this pace certainly on. As you see O'Donnell just really, they're a long, long line out there, but not much separating them. Great to see Michael Tozen out there. He got 3rd in the Melbourne Marathon only a month ago. So the Mentone runner going from 42.2 down to 3,000 metres in 1 month. But great to see Michael out here racing Milers Club in the Mentone Strip.
I love that.
So Michael got 3rd in the Vic Champs of the Melbourne Marathon, not 3rd overall. So we are approaching the 1 kilometre mark. So Seth's going to take them through 2:44 on the clock. So 2:45 as we go through the entire field through in 2:50. So that's 8:30 pace at the rear of the field. So this is our B race, remember. So Unthank's deciding to make a little bit of a move. He's just off Stevens there in 4th place. There's Donahue, the hometown boy, stepping up from the 800 to the 3,000. Hamish would know this track really, really well. Hannigan in 3rd position still. Then Stevens. Bit of a gap then to Unthank. Looks like Murray might be the one in next position. So Caden Murray from Diamond Valley. Seth O'Donnell doing such a good job out front, and Hamish Donahue saying thank you very much. Stevens just goes ahead of Hannigan. Hannigan has a look over his shoulder. So it is then Unthank, then Wagner. Next one in there is Lucas Sidoritis. So the gaps are starting to form though. Top 3. Bit of a gap then to Hannigan. Another gap to Unthank. Then it is Murray and Wagner working together. Sidoritis. Quite a bunch coming through and going past Sideritas now. But out front it is still Seth O'Donnell forging that pathway. And Donahue and Stevens are saying thank you very much, Seth, because this pace is just awesome for this B race. So coming down to get 3 laps to go. Well and truly into the second half of this race. And O'Donnell, and then it's Donahue. Stevens running bravely. Murray, Wagner, Hannigan, Unthank. Rawley. Also, that would be Bunnage right alongside him with Elberston. Gap then to Forster. So approaching 2 kilometres, so at 2:45. And they're going to be right on target, right on the 5:30 mark there. So it's very even pacing as we see Donahue start to take the lead over O'Donnell. So it's a matter of how far or how extended Seth's going to be in this B race because he still has the A race to go. So Donahue will get the crowd going here. So Hamish stepping up to the 3,000 metres and looking very strong as he comes through to get 2 laps to go. So O'Donnell, training session for this B race, looking steady. Stevens just has to hang on. So 6 minutes as he goes through with 2 laps to go. Murray and Wagner. Bunnage in next position, then Unthank, Elberson, Hannigan, Rawley, then Muscat. Johnson coming through in next position. Looks like more names just right near him. But O'Donnell's making this very, very spicy. It looked like Donahue was just going to get a little bit of a break, but Seth's decided to join him and just push him forward. Gap then to Stevens, who just has to hang on for this last 600. Great battle between Murray and also Wagner, but it looks like Murray's just trying to surge forward 600 out. Unthank leading the next pack as they go through. But into the home straight they come, and it looks like O'Donnell has taken the lead once again. So Seth, can he take a B run win and an A run win? Let's see if that happens tonight. So it looks like Donahue's just fading a little bit as Stevens starts to launch forward. So Ben's got nothing to lose now. 7:11 as he goes through. Seth still leading. Murray, Wagner locked together. Still very close. Bunnage in next position. Sideritas back in the picture here, chasing Muscat. You got Johnson, also Elberston, Hannigan, Unthank, also Rawley. Now out front, Seth O'Donnell's still leading, but Ben Stevens is doing the chase. Can Steve-O take a bit of a win here? O'Donnell leading 100 metres out, 7:57 on the clock as they come into the straight together. Big run here from Seth. As we know, he's going to line up once again in the A race in about another 15 minutes' time. But Seth O'Donnell looks like he's going to take out the B race. Big run from Stevens, though. Murray, what a finish from Caden Murray. And Seth O'Donnell will take it 8:16 there, about sub 8:20 there for Stevens. Also Murray right on the 8:20 mark. Donahue was brave, but just legs ran out on him in 8:25. Then Wagner. Looks like it'll be Sideritas next through. Then Mornane. Hannigan next. Muscat. Unthank. Then it will be Johnson. Forster. Looks like Bunnage and Elberston. Rawley next. Then Ryan. And Tozen will bring them in. And we'll have one more finisher here. And it will be Paproff finishing off just under the 9 minutes. So a very interesting men's B3000 as we look forward now to the first of our A races. The women will be doing their A race shortly from across the darkness there. 19 in the women's A, 3,000 metres. Our event record, 8:51.2. Lyndon Hall holds the Milers Club record set in 2020. Obviously, there is a $500 bonus for anyone. I think it's $500, maybe even $1,000 we'll give away if anyone can break Lyndon's record here this evening. So let's introduce our field of 19. Lara Sakana from Essendon's in 1. Ali Brooks, Box Hill in 2. Also from Box Hill, Julie Fitt in 3. Madison Caulfield, Essendon in 4. Also from Box Hill, Sophie Hall in 5. Sandringham, Zulia Alice in 6. Alexandra Schultz from Williamstown in 7. Susanna Mavram Mahalis, Ballerine in 8. Tara Brain from Box Hill in 9. Also from Box Hill, Stephanie Condagonis in 10. Tess Kersop Cole, Geelong Guild in 11. Zoe Woods from Melbourne Uni in 12. Cushy Dio, Box Hill in 13. From Glen Huntley, Madison King 14. Erin Mariner from Box Hill in 15. Bella Fari from Sandringham in 16. Catherine Dowie from Eureka 17. Sienna Rowe from Essendon in 18. And in 19, Abby Reid from Bendigo University. They're your starters in the women's A 3,000 metres. So underway now, the women's 3,000 metres. Let's see who wants to take the lead up. Looks like King might have dashed out early there. So no split start for this one. So 19 girls across the line. And I think Maddie King is setting the pace early. So Maddie looking strong. Sakane to the inside, then Brooks. Hall's now starting to make her move. 200 metres in. So fairly bunched field still. But it is Maddie King leading the way early on here. Hall, Brooks. So already seeing a few little breaks in the field here. Mavra Mahalis surging forward to try and get into the action there. Sakana in next position. So opening lap about 74 seconds. So the pace is already on. They're not going to challenge Lyndon's time tonight, but certainly Maddie King has got the foot down early and certainly setting up a very good race here this evening. So Hall and Brooks working together. Brooks to the outside. As we said, Mavra Mahalis made a good move to get right into the action. Dowie's on the rails in the blue. Kersop Cole right beside her. Mavra Mahalis. Then Mariner, Sakana, Schultz, Reid. I think Tara Brain in next spot. So decent field here this evening. Top 6 runners got a little bit of a break there on Mariner. Looks like Schultz trying to work her way through. Brain now starting to make that break forward as well. They don't want to lose contact in the early stages. So pace cooling on that second lap. King still leads, 2:33 through the 800. Brooks and Hall still side by side. Dowie just in the rails position just behind them. Early position good for Kath Dowie. Seeing the field really start to come together, so I'd say that the pace coming off a little bit now. Mavra Mahalis did have a little bit of a gap over Brain, but Brain, Schultz, Condagonis, also Fari, Mariner, Reid, they're all starting to work through. Lily Alice also, one of the Sandringham locals. Not much separating the whole field now as they go through that first kilometre around probably the 3:15 mark. Sorry, I did miss that. So on around maybe 9:45 pace. Now the gaps start to form again. It's amazing what can happen in the matter of seconds. think that might be Dowie who is pushing the pace out front now. The Eureka athlete, Dowie, leading the way. So dominant in the early stages of the XCR season. Got a little bit sick towards the end of the season. King in second position, then Hall, then Kersop Cole, then Brooks. Schultz making way through with Fari. Just going past Maverick Mahalis. Sakana just to the outside there of Reed and also Mariner. But it is Kath Dowie just starting to really push forward here. Got a break now over King. It's extending out to 10 metres now. Hall and Kersop Cole together. Brooks just at the rear of that little pack. Then Schultz has made a lovely move with Fari chasing her. Condagonis about to go past Maverick Mahalis. So 15-metre break now. Catherine Dowie from Eureka. The wind really starting to gust once again here at Sandringham. But Kath Dowie, unperturbed by that, she is just looking very strong into this home straight, and she'll be coming down to get 3 to go. Dowie leads the way. I think Kersop Cole might have slipped into second position now. So it's Kersop Cole, then Hall, King. Schultz has judged this race beautifully and starts to make her way through. Great move also from Fari. Condagonis in next position. Now Alice decides to move forward. So into the back straight, approaching 2 kilometres. Catherine Dowie, Eureka leading the way. She's got a 15-metre break over Kersop Cole, the 800-metre specialist. Then it's Sophie Hall. Maddie King in next position. Balafari right there with Schultz. Those two are running very well together and starting to take more scalps as the race moves on. So 6:26 going through the 2 kilometre mark. So we're looking at just under the 9:45 mark here for our leader, Catherine Dowie from Eureka. Been very consistent on this 2nd kilometre. We're seeing Kersop Cole just going step for step. She's about 10 metres back, but that is not changing. Hall also in good position. So Dowie really got good momentum. You can see that drive from Catherine Dowie. She comes into the home straight. She's determined. As I said, great start to the XCR season. Fell away a bit after being ill latter stages of the season, but she's back again, and this is an impressive performance. But Kersop Cole isn't too far behind, and we're into that last 800 metres. So the packs at the back are starting to spread apart now. Julie Fitz just coming through. Cushy D-Hole's there with Mariner. Sienna Rowe goes through with 800 metres to go. Kersop Cole seems to be just taking stride by stride, just edging or getting into that lead. This could be a very close over that last 600 metres. Big gap then to Hall. Chase pack there has got Schultz leading the way. Fari's right with her with King not too far behind. This is going to be quite close. I think it looks like Kersop Cole is just starting to really take away or get into that lead of Dowie. It's still about 7 to 8 metres, but over the last lap, it's just come in slightly. So Dowie just has to maintain momentum here, but Kersop Cole, obviously the 800-metre runner, she will have this legs over this last lap. The bell sounds, but Dowie digs in. Kersop Cole looking quite relaxed there, comes alongside Kath Dowie. Sophie Hall still clearly in third. Fari and Schultz still locked together, then King. Caulfield's made a big run, has come through and taking a few scalps along the way, but Dowie still leads it down the back straight. Dowie, Kersop Cole, Hall, Schultz. It ain't over yet. 200 metres out. Still about 1 to 2 metres between them. Dowie looked like she was going to get past in that last 200, but it looks like it's still on between these two. Very determined young ladies. Kersop Cole obviously has got the middle distance experience here. Dowie has plenty of strength through the cross-country season. It's on, and you'll see Kersop Cole go quite wide. Dowie's just got to dig deep into this last 100 metres, but Kersop Cole just seems to have the momentum. So Tess Kersop Cole saves that race beautifully. Dowie's been so brave and so good and so strong, but it will be a win tonight to Tess Kersop Cole over 3,000 metres, just over the 9:30 mark. A beautiful kick down there from Tess and also from Kath, rewarded with some very strong times. Hall will come through for the next place. She'll be just over 9:40. King's back into it. Caulfield, good run for her. Alex Schultz coming through for a sub 9:50. Next one through will be Brooks. Fari not far behind, then Reed. Fit. Mavra Mahalis under the 10-minute mark. Lily Alice next one through, right on 10 minutes with Cushy Diol. Steph Condogonis just the wrong side. Sakana, also Mariner coming through. And it looks like Sienna Rowe will be the last one to finish here. So around a 10:15 there for Rowe to conclude our women's 3,000 metres. The men's A 3,000 metres, 18 starters on the line. Seth O'Donnell lines up again from Mentoni's in Station 1. Next to him, his teammate Michael Kernahan in 2. Edward Beischer from Wendouree is in 3. Alexander Cameron Smith, Western Athletics, in 4. Adrian McDermott, Bendigo University, in 5. The reigning Victorian 5,000 metre champ from Bendigo University, Matt Buckles, in 6. Ben Beischer from Old Scotch, he's in 7. Ben Ludbrook from Eureka in 8. Harry Norman, Yarra Rangers, in 9. Tom Bowers from Old Scotch, he's in 10. Oliver Lurie from Chilwell in 11. Riley Bryce from Old Zavarians in 12. Oscar Gray, Glenn Huntley in 13. Evander Scott from Chilwell, 14. Wolfgang Kotranamisi from Collingwood Harriers in 15. Will Lewis St Kevin's in 16. Luke Shaw from Collingwood Harriers in 17. And from Casey Cadinia, Lucas Kish in Station 18. They're your 18 starters in the men's open A 3,000 metres. So O'Donnell lining up once again, and he goes straight to the lead. So Seth's going to really have a good red-hot go here tonight. How many can he take with him? It's an impressive field. Lucas Kish, obviously one to watch. The outstanding junior athlete from Casey Cadinia, he is in this field. Luke Shaw also pushing it. Luke doesn't mind going hard and going fast early. The others to watch will be Gray. Kish sitting in 3rd, then Buckle, Lewis, Kotranamisi, Baisha, Bowers, the half marathon champ of Victoria, in the field. But it is O'Donnell leading the way. Shaw going with him. Kish, look at that form. Also watch Oscar Gray, definitely one to watch. And Buckle, good to see Matt Buckle back on the track here at Sandringham, with Lewis not too far behind him. So opening lap, 62 seconds. They're on. They're going to try and go sub 8 minutes here this evening, and they're certainly setting that up beautifully here with that opening lap around 62, 63. Probably the slowest in the field, about a 66. O'Donnell setting the pace beautifully. One big long line down the back straight. It's impressive, isn't it? So Mentone at the top of the field, also at the rear of the field with Kernahan, not long back from the World Mountain and Trail Running Champs in Spain. So great to see Michael stepping back out onto track after doing his mountain running. So pace out front, it is moving. We're coming down, approaching the 1 kilometre mark. So 2:30 on the clock now. It's going to be around the 2:40 mark. Maybe a shade under. Seth O'Donnell takes Luke Shaw, Lucas Gish, Matty Buckle through. So 2:39. So we're just on that sub 8 minute schedule out front. So how many can hang in and really challenge O'Donnell? He's already gone out there and run a pretty impressive time in the B race. Doubling up here in this A race. Our 1,500 metre Milers Club record holder in that infamous race in Doncaster. 3:37 with the lights off. And Seth O'Donnell once again trying to make some Milers Club history here. So 7:57.81 is the Milers Club record. Now, obviously, there is a bonus if any of these runners can break Ben Buckingham's 7:57.81. That's the target time. That's where the bonus is. So O'Donnell going through nicely, but there's still 4 runners right behind him, and what a talented group that is. Shaw, probably more famous over the shorter distances. Kish, the very, very talented junior. Buckle, Victorian 5,000 metre champ. Lewis, great all-rounder from 1,500 up. Bit of a gap then to Kochanamisi. I think Bowers sitting in next position there behind Kochanamisi. So well into the second half now of this event. Is he starting to stretch them out? And I think he is. So the gap between O'Donnell and Shaw just starting to stretch slightly. Shaw to Kish, no change. No change to Buckle either, and Lewis just sitting on beautifully at the back of that pack. But O'Donnell still surging forward, starting to break them. Is anyone going to go for it? Will Kish try to get past Shaw and go for it? Can Buckle do it? Will Lewis have a go as well? 4:45 on the clock. That gap is just only getting bigger and bigger. If anyone wants to challenge O'Donnell, they've got to go now. O'Donnell now out by 15 metres. How things can change so quickly. Seth really pushing it through. He's approaching the 2 kilometre mark. 7:57.81 is the Milers Club record. No change with the chasers though. It's Shaw, Kish, Buckle, Lewis in that order. 5:17, he's on target here to break the course or the Milers Club record. Seth O'Donnell really going for it. 7:57.81 is that time from Ben Buckingham. O'Donnell's the only man who can do it from this pack now. So in he comes. He's got another 900 to go. coming down to get the 2 laps out. Seth O'Donnell, let's really get behind Seth. What a run. We've seen him run so well at Milers Club, and once again, he's setting this track on fire. 2 out, 5:49. Kish, Lewis is the one who looks good for me as he goes to the outside. Kish is just leading Lewis. Buckle stuck in the pocket there, but out front it is O'Donnell. Kish now in second position, Lewis in third, Buckle making his move, Shaw starting to drop behind, but out front it is all Seth O'Donnell at the moment. Let's get behind him, 7:57.81, 600 out for O'Donnell. So 1:36 thereabouts will give him the record here at Milers Club. O'Donnell now out by about 70 to 80 metres over Kish. Shaw now starting to drop away from that chase pack, but it is just Seth O'Donnell into the final 500. What a run from Seth. He's won the B race. He's going to win the A race. Let's see if he can break the Milers Club record to boot. Get that bonus, Seth. Go for it. He's looking good for it. 6:51 as he goes through. Kish in next position, then Lewis and Buckle. It's going to be a good battle for that second, third, fourth position. We've then got Shaw, Cameron Smith, then Scott coming through. Then we've got Bowers, Kochanamisi. But down the back straight last time, it is Seth O'Donnell. He's out by about 70 to 80 metres now. Kish in second. Buckle looking quite good, but Lewis just wedged in between the two of them. And it looks like Buckle's now going to take on Lewis as they go through and head towards that final 200 metres. O'Donnell's into the last 200 though. He has got 27 seconds to break the course or the Milers Club record here. Into the last 100. Let's get on the track for Seth. Just don't upset the photo finish. That's all we ask. So Seth O'Donnell, let's get your phones out again. It's a replica of the Doncaster run. Seth O'Donnell looks like he's going to do this quite easily. A new Milers Club record. Seth O'Donnell, he'll take the win. 7:55 unofficial. Good run here between Kish and also Lewis. Kish will take bragging rights right on the 8-minute mark with Lewis. Buckle through next. Good run from Shaw. He was brave early. Cameron Smith and Norman coming home strong. Bowers, big run from Tommy Bowers. Then Riley Bryce, Evander Scott, Kochanamisi, Baisha in next position. Then Ludbrook right on the 8:20 mark. And our final few competitors coming through now. Baisha. This is Ben Baisha coming through now. Gray and also Kernahan. So Lurie through next. McDermott will finish it off, but what a great run. Big effort from from Seth O'Donnell taking out the B in the A race. And what a conclusion to the first Milers Club meet for 2025-26. We look forward to seeing everyone back at Box Hill, 8 to 15, just before Christmas. Always the biggest event of the year. Big thank you to the team from Milers Club, also Victorian officials. Big thanks also to the Victorian Middle District crowd once again coming out to support a great night here at Sandringham. And once again, big thanks to Sandringham Athletic Club and Runners Paradise for supporting Milers